Oh, yeah. What's going on, ladies and gents? We have a good friend with us here, Mr. Jean Ward. What's going on there, Jean? How you been?
I'm very, very well. Thanks for asking, Chris.
It's been a
And
while.
you?
It's been a while. I think you said it
Yes.
was like 7 months. My God.
Close to 7 or 8 months since the last one, Chris.
Oh, my God. It's
Yep.
between... Let me see. Let me just do an audio check, make sure we're working. Okay, so we are good. We do have a lag about 20 seconds, roughly. So, yeah, we're doing well here. You're looking good, Jean, as always. And like I said, it's been like a while. Last Friday, tried to get on. It didn't work out too well. And this week, this time here, was almost the same way. But we prevailed and got through it. So,
We certainly did. We certainly did. Chris, I see a funny grey block.
yeah, I see that
Of a
too.
mall.
I'm not sure. Let me just move that.
You also see it there.
Yeah, well,
But
that wasn't supposed to do that.
That's NASA censoring something again.
Yeah, you know how that goes. There it goes. We'll get that out. We'll get that out of the way.
TR3B.
That's what it is. They're trying to cover that up.
Hey, I see plenty of our friends in the chat.
Oh, yeah. You know a lot of these
Hey,
people, of course.
It's good to be back.
Oh, yeah. Let me see. Make sure our audio is good here. Let me put that down here. Oh, yeah. I don't know about you. It's been a long day for me, and it's been crazy. So I'm, like, totally ragged out, which is awesome. But, yeah, you've done a lot of cool videos here. We're probably going to repeat this because you've been... and everybody's not jumped on here yet. But for those who are not familiar with Mr. Jean Ward, he does, and it goes by the way, his channel goes by the same name. Check out his work. Plug time. So he does everything that's, what do you think? 99% of the time is satellite views? You mean you do a little extra different work too, but yeah. Show some phenomenal things. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to actually show you guys a quick UFO video. This is wild because I've never seen anything like this, and it's right in front of this guy's camera. And it appears to be two orbs, and they got like this weird trail going from them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have Jean jump in there, and he's going to show some of his stuff, especially the one you were talking about. It looked like that fortress type thing, where I know a lot of you folks are familiar with that, but for those who are not, you'll get to check that out too.
Okay. Chris, are you going to call it up on your end?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can,
Okay, cool.
as far as, well, I'm going to do the video part, but if you want to pull it up on yours, as far as your work, because you have your site as well, right? You got the Raptor Zone. So you got all the pictures up there. So if you want to do that, I'll let you present that. And I'll just, of course, we can comment about it and everything else. So while he's doing that, I'm going to show you guys this video, because this is cool. This is pretty neat. Right here. Now, watch this. This is cool.
Caught on camera, check this out. 2 floating circles of light in Palm Coast. Viewer William Fuentes sent us this video from his Ring camera. And that is not the only interesting thing people have seen lately.
New at 6, Fox 35's Elena Shirazi tells us about a spike in UFO sightings.
For decades, flying saucers were just a tagline, but now UFOs have become a regular sighting.
I've watched it maybe 100 times now, and I've taken screenshots and blown
Let me
it
start
up.
this over. See, my fat head was in the way. Let me. Let's do this. Let's do it this way. Okay.
Caught on camera, check this out. 2 floating circles of light in Palm Coast. Viewer William Fuentes sent us this video from his Ring camera. And that is not the only interesting thing people have seen lately.
New at 6, Fox 35's Elena Shirazi tells us about a spike in UFO sightings.
For decades, flying saucers were just a tagline, but now UFOs have become a regular sighting.
I've watched it maybe 100 times now, and I've taken screenshots and blown it up.
Palm Coast resident William Fuentes describes video caught on his home security camera at 3 in the morning. The startling video shows 2 circles of light soaring in the air, twinkling mysteriously in the night sky.
Is it drones, or is it the bird, or bats, or, everything goes through your mind. But in the end, I really couldn't explain it.
Sightings like this make people ask the age-old question, are we alone in the universe?
I think it's a fascinating phenomenon. I mean, you know, if you think about it, that there's a possibility that these events are happening because of aliens. That is everybody's hoping that these are aliens and not just some weather phenomena.
The National UFO Reporting Center says there have been 245 new UFO reports through March 30th. In 2020, there were 7,200 plus UFO sightings. That's 1,000 more sightings than in 2019. And what was once a bedtime story turned into a bombshell. Over the past few years, we have seen a new level of acknowledgement from the government. Thousands of UFO documents from the CIA were recently obtained. The Department of Defense and the U.S. Navy also confirmed investigations and sightings.
Whenever people realizing that, oh, this was a weather balloon or it was some atmospheric optics phenomena, then it is just not that interesting anymore, right? So all the interesting cases are the ones where you don't find them.
And there's actually a Space Coast UFO group out here that devotes their time into investigating this footage twice a month. For now, on the Space Coast, Alina Shirazi, Fox 35 News.
Let me see here. Ah, there he is. Let me see here. Oh, there we are. All right. What'd you think of that, John?
Chris, those look like they're leaving smoke trails and they're spinning.
Yeah,
Do
they
you
seem
see
like...
those dots that they were leaving, or is that exposure on the lens?
See, I don't know. It kind of looked like that weird, like a propulsion type thing, like spinning, like a plasma trail. That was weird.
Puff, puff, puff. Yeah, leaving puffs behind it.
Yes. I thought that's probably the most strangest video I've seen. And this thing's not like a million miles away from the guy. You know, like you always see the ones way out, and they're like, we can barely see it, doesn't look great. This thing was like right in front of the thing, and I can understand if they were just too, because it looked like infrared or night vision. And when the thing went by, if they were two insects, I mean, these things literally like were just flying in tandem. I don't know. I don't, that's weird.
I don't know. That looks rather odd to me. I don't know if it's an artifact of the lens or the CCD. I don't know, but it looks weird. Looks really strange, Chris. I like that you're doing UFOs now.
Yeah, I mean, some people say, well, you know, I prefer you to do the Mars ones, but a lot of people are like, wow, this is cool. You know, one guy said, about time. So I was like, and don't get me wrong, it is a tricky, kind of a slippery slope, right? Because you can run into a lot of fake ones, and I may put some on there and say, what do you guys think? In other words, I might say I think it's hoax straight off the bat. I cannot put them on there knowing that, you know, if they look bogus, chances are they are. You know what I mean? So I would just put on there, if I think it's kind of questionable, guys, just tell me what you think they are. Because, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you should know better. That was totally, you know, considered faked a while back. Or it's not even that. It's more the entertainment. But the last two videos I had on there, to me, they look legit. Now, some people said, well, the other one that I just did, they were saying they thought maybe it was these Chinese, lanterns type thing. And that could very well be, right? Because they come up and they kind of fade off, so on and so forth. And it's a very good possibility. But to this guy, Michael, it was unidentified. And you could tell he was like genuine. He wasn't going, hey, let's just see what they say. You know, I mean, you can see he was like, wow, this is really neat. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting either way. Now, the first one, I thought that was legit. It was more of a triangular, like a TR, 3B or whatever, something along them lines, or something newer. But I think it's good to be able to do those too, to add a little extra flavor. So and of course I leave it up to my subs. They can tell me what they think, because basically what they want goes. That's the way you got to play it, right? And because you can't have something that people don't want, right? That's the way, pretty much. So
yeah.
But what do you actually? What?
We don't become third phase of Moon.
Oh no, we don't want to do that.
It's good to feature a couple of UFOs once.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, they actually asked me. He actually come over to me. I forget what his name is. The one that's the main guy on the show. He come over to me and asked me about a video that somebody had sent him, and asked me for my analysis. What do you think about this? And I said, that looks fake. It looks bogus. I mean, so he goes, all right, that's what I wanted to know. Thanks, appreciate it. I never heard another word from him. It's like, dude, I think, and you can give me your thoughts on this. I see these, like this guy Corbin, bringing all these videos from the Pentagon, trying to get them released and everything else. And I'm going, and I've said this in my videos, I don't understand why people are not paying more attention. Well, it's just not in the mainstream, I think that's the reason why. But that they're not looking at the stuff we're showing, because this would fill the gap as far as what's really out there. You could say, here's Earth, UFOs. Are they ours, or are they otherworldly? I think we answered the question with what we're finding on Mars and the Moon. What do you think?
Yeah, well, Chris, do you know what really teased me off about? I think it's Corbell, Jeremy Corbell.
Yeah.
He's discredited himself. If you watched Goofan's last video, he says everything you need to hear. But what the TTSA and these guys did, he calls them the young guns Twitter crowd. They're negating the whole history from 1938 all the way up to now. And they're only starting with the UAP agenda at 2012, 5, somewhere around there. And the whole history is forgotten. So it's good that we just remind people, to remember what happened 70 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, what I find interesting is that they get a couple of these, well, I think it's bogus anyway. They got this triangular craft off the, I don't know if it's off the bow, one of these warships or whatever. To me, it's bogus. It's got a strobe light on it. It's got, it's out of focus. It's night vision. Show me a daytime UFO without any kind of filter, whether it's infrared, night vision, whatever. Show me the real deal, or I'm not going to be totally on board with it. Like you, I don't know how you feel about that, but I can't be totally on board with this. And this is what I love the most. Oh, well, they're flying in our airspace. It could be dangerous to us. What about in the 50s, or was it the 40s, where they had like 15 of them damn things flying around the Capitol? That wasn't important then? Come on. They know these things are there, and they know exactly who's flying them, and they know exactly why they're here. Come on. I don't believe that crap for a moment.
No, I think it's... most of the stuff is ours. And about 10% is unknown.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think when you look at these spacecraft, supposed spacecraft, I think a lot of them are us, from the technology. Because I know, listen, once you start on the road to, let's say you want to do a plasma drive, you're not going to stop until you complete the task. It's kind of like the Blackbird, the SR, was it 71, where
Correct.
They started that thing back in the 40s probably as far as the plans. Then they come out with this thing in the 50s, and it was totally hush until, 96? So how many years was that thing a secret? Now, once they retired that, what got put in its place? So now these spacecraft, I believe they're the United States, and I'll tell you why. I mean, don't get me wrong, it could be any country, but here's the thing. If I was to tell you, between us, hey, Jean, I built this spacecraft, it's a Tic Tac UFO. I can fly anywhere with impunity, and I can fly anywhere I want to in the world. Nobody's going to know, because we're going to play stupid too. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know where that's from. I have no idea. So now I can play Mickey the Dope, and I can fly anywhere. I can check out your stuff in your country. I can check out anybody's I want, and nobody knows whose it is. It makes perfect sense. It's the perfect, make up story, if you will. Build the craft, fly it anywhere you want to. Nobody knows whose it is, so you don't get blamed if you're flying over Japan. Their nuclear sites, their war, place where they're building planes, jets, whatever. Nobody knows. Nobody can point the finger.
Chris, the other thing, I was thinking about this. I've been researching the secret space program now for 3 years as well. And I think the different agencies from around the world are in it together. like if you look at even during the Cold War, the Russian scientists and the American scientists were still cooperating on many levels.
Oh, yeah.
So I think these guys know exactly who's who's and what. And yeah, I don't know. The whole threat thing too is just ridiculous as far as I'm concerned.
Well, they're saying that it's like, oh, they're a threat to our air, our air space and all. I went, but for as long as we can remember, or as long as it's been written, ancient civilizations have talked about their gods coming down from the heavens. So this is not something new. And this is what I had I had this thought the other day, and I'm saying to myself, okay, so let me get this right. From orbit, they can see your license plate, or they can see you on a lounge chair in your backyard reading a magazine and can probably read the thing for you. Okay. But we're keep in mind these military satellites are keeping an eye on these different areas and can see down to probably an inch by an inch on the ground. Yet, if they zoom out, they've never seen anything fly above these complexes. They never seen anything fly and didn't say there was oh wow, that's unexplained back then. Come on, how long they had this technology to look at the ground with clarity, and yet they've never seen anything like a UFO flying above like these complexes and these military bases, any of that sort.
Yeah, no, it's nonsensical.
No.
Chris, I checked. James made a comment.
Okay.
He says it's not just over the USA that we see all these UFOs. It's all over, even here in South Africa.
Yeah.
So it's a worldwide phenomenon. I actually did a video or two about a year ago about the South African Roswell. I don't know if you know about that story.
No, I don't think so. Never read into it.
Okay, I think it was in 1989. When was the Falklands War? 82, 89? I can't remember now, but these guys went to an island off the coast of the Falklands, more down towards Antarctica, called Thule Island.
Mm-hmm.
And they apparently went to a research base there, where these guys were researching the so-called black goo type of stuff that they featured in the X-Files and in the movie Prometheus.
Okay.
You know, that black goo.
Right.
And apparently one of the craft, an alien craft, escaped the island, headed over South Africa, and it was shot down. And the thing crashed in the Kalahari Desert. And we went out there, the South Africans, and we recovered the crash debris and whatever, and the technology. But then it was handed over to the Americans and to the British, to specifically Plessy and Marconi. And they researched this black goo further.
Nice.
And something like 80% of those scientists at Marconi were suicided. They died under mysterious circumstances.
Wonder how that happened.
Weird. And they was talking about massive blue diamonds that also discovered on this craft. And last year, it was in the South African news, the Botswana government found the biggest blue diamond ever found in the Kalahari Desert. So
I heard about that. That I heard about.
Hell?
Yeah.
So is there truth to it or not? We don't know. But anyway, I've seen similar orb type of craft here in Pretoria, where I live as well. So I know what it's like. And these things move, man. They're not like Chinese lanterns that move quite slowly.
Oh, I know. They're flying. They're cruising.
But those things were moving.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were Chinese lanterns, but they do look like them, I must admit.
Yeah.
But they're moving too fast.
Give a shout out to James Cragen. Thank you very much, sir, for your support. Always appreciate it. He said, hi, Chris and Jean. Great to see you here tonight. Gives a thumbs up, too. Thank you, Mr. James. Appreciate you.
Like being here.
Let me see. And, guys, ladies and gents, I promise I didn't mean to skip everybody, but, Jean can't be on like all hours of the night. He's like 6 hours ahead of us, so... for me, it's like right now it's 11 o'clock, almost 11:30 for him, so I don't want to keep him hanging here. And, so this is the reason why we just jumped right in. But I promise you, I don't mean to miss any of you guys. Love you guys all. You know that. Miss Aird, thank you very much for your support as well. Much appreciated. It says, Chris and Jean are awesome. Jean's awesome. Yes.
You're all awesome.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It's like every time something comes up, whether it's Roswell, it gets quickly swept under the rug, and then there's confusion everywhere after the fact, right? They're like,
Yeah.
so what's the other details? And because they can't get the rest of the details, they automatically assume maybe it didn't happen. So at least people doing this, teetering. Was it true? Was it real? Like you're saying, was it true? Was it false? Because you didn't get more facts out of it, and it was quickly swept under the rug. And that's the problem with it. Let's see.
Yeah. They admitted that they have a disc in their possession. And then a day or two later, no, it was a weather balloon. What the heck?
I can understand to a certain degree why they're keeping the UFO hush back then. Okay? But just say, hey, yes, there's a such thing as UFOs. You don't have to get into details. Say, yeah, we accumulated all this technology from them. You don't have to get into that. Just say, yes, we are aware that there's UFOs. Even if you don't want to say, yes, we have one. I get it. I understand. But that doesn't mean you can't just admit to it. Yes. Like they said, that one about that the night vision one with the triangle. Says, yeah, the Pentagon agrees that that's authentic. Please. That could be anything out of focus. And it's got a strobe at the bottom to boot. Come on. I'm not going to believe that crap for a minute. I think they're trying this fear-mongering crap. And they basically, if you listen to some of these interviews with these guys like Corbin and stuff like that, they're saying they're basically dismissing, what's his name? Stephen Greer. Coming up with that hoax thing, and that's not true, and blah, blah. Yes, it is true. You're trying to hype this up like we're all going to be attacked and fried on a friggin' griddle tomorrow. Stop it. I don't think that's true, only because I believe, and I've said this a million times, if these aliens were evil, sadistical, whatever, if they would have taken over this planet a long time ago, and you wouldn't have had a thing to say about it. Because here's the thing. Would you kill people at their strongest or at their weakest? Common sense would tell you, well, they're not very technologically advanced. We can stomp them like an ant in a mud hole. It's no big deal. But that's not true now. Now we're a lot more advanced than we were back in the 40s compared to, of course, we're military. I'm sure it's a lot more ahead of that, for the public. But, so I don't believe for a moment these are like evil, beings. I don't think so. But they're making it out to be, oh my God, we don't know what's going on. They're in our airspace. Oh, stop it. You're in your airspace.
You know what? The deep state always tries to preempt things, Chris. They always try and warn people before the time that they're going to get up to something because they're psychopathic, man. I think they are behind all of this crap that's been going on. This stupid CV 1984 and all those other agendas. But I'm not going to get into the V or anything like that because we'll get banned. But remember that truck that was taken out in front of the AT&T building late last year.
Yep.
There was an energy weapon used there. I don't know if you saw that video clip.
Oh, it obliterated that building too.
And I reckon something similar was used in New York. I won't say when.
Could very well be.
The two buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're behind all of these things, Chris. They don't care about the collateral damage. As long as they can push their agendas, get their money. The military-industrial complex, as well as the medical side of things, is unstoppable. There's so much money and corruption in that industry. I mean, even Howard Hughes.
Yeah, yeah.
He was accused of bribing people too, and he said, but that's what we all do, remember? So, Chris, I don't know. We've got to be very careful of these guys. I believe they're pushing the threat thing for a reason, and we'll probably find out in a year or two anyway.
Oh yeah, you can almost bet on that. See, here's a side note too. I don't know if you remember, but 9/11's coming back up, the anniversary, and
Yep.
I saw this thing on AOL, and I love it because it said they are banning Biden from going to this unless he can release all the documents about what really happened that day.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Take a hike, scumbag. And I don't blame them in the least bit.
You know, Chris, the way the building collapsed and the way that the cars burnt
Yep.
down in the streets, the blocks around these two buildings, the one side's completely melted.
Yeah.
And the other side's perfect.
Yeah.
It's energy weaponry. That's it. And everything turned to dust.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can
I
see
mean,
those-
everything melted
those
like there's no
trees
tomorrow.
falling
What,
down, and then they just turned to dust.
what do they call that? There was something that was used in there that would literally melt steel. It wasn't so much a fire explosion. There was something that they used. And I've got, listen, when that happened, no word of a lie, I was actually pirating. Anyway, I was literally listening to, I had every channel on Bell Express View from Canada, and I had every channel from Dish Network. Now, I remember that day when it happened, because we had VCRs back then, and I got like 4 different tapes full, 90 minutes full, of every state that talked about this, okay? Then I put them onto disc. So, and you can hear the police officers in the fire department saying, it sounded like a controlled demolition.
Yes.
And you can see the thing going, doo, 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 and they said, no, that's from the compression of the floors coming down. No. This is long before that happened. You can see it going, doo, 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 and that's why it came down like a pancake and didn't just fall over. And then they showed you other buildings from around the world they actually burned longer. They burned for 24 hours, never came down. And yet these buildings did. And then, of course, you got Building 7. Oh, yeah, it was just from the concussion of it, made it fall. Whatever. You know, there's so much crap in this thing. You know as well as I do. You know, and you can't, I don't want to touch on it much more because sometimes people, you know, they don't like the idea of it. But when I see this, I feel sorry for this country because so many people died. What was that, 3,500 people somewhere roughly that paid the price because they want to keep everybody, you know, let's kind of stifle you. So the government has you in fear constantly. Oh, government, please protect us. Please protect us. There's the one that's pulling the charade over everybody. So they're playing both sides of the field here. It's kind of like the same people who build what do you call it? Radar detectors are the same people that make the damn guns for the speed guns for the cops. Go figure. So, James Cragen, thank you very much for your support, sir. It is appreciated. You said, Chris and John, let's be honest tonight. I don't care about the denying world when it comes to the UFO phenomenon. I trust what's written in stone and massively documented and witnessed thousands of times. So true.
Yes.
Yeah, because, I mean, you don't have to listen to crap now. Like you said earlier, Jean, you said that the train, what is it, going back to like 2004? They're only going back to like somewhere roughly around 2004 up to this point? Excuse me? This has been going on for how long? Oh, come on. And yet they want to just use that as simple years, you know.
Yes, and that's Richard Dolan's argument as well. It's a pity that Tracy and Richard got divorced because he stopped doing his YouTube videos as often as he used to.
Right.
But he always used to warn about this thing too. He said, they're changing the whole agenda. What about the history? They're negating history here.
Yep. Let's just excuse those years from,
What I liked about him was he kept reminding people about what happened in the past.
Yeah.
I really liked his work. It's a pity that he's not on as often as he used to be. I don't know if you followed Richard Dolan.
I did a little bit, not a whole lot. I know people have followed him much more, but I haven't. But I'd watch occasionally one of his videos and stuff like that. I like the guy.
Yeah, he goes into the history and the documentation like Stanton Friedman did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame about him. You know, I wish he was still alive, too. This guy was like a pioneer for pushing the truth. And, you know, but, you know, they all just fall by the wayside and end up passing on. And you need more and more people like this. Now, don't get me wrong, we have people grabbing the torch and running with it today. The problem is, is it for a different agenda or is it for the actual truth? That's what I have a problem with.
It's for a different agenda. We all know that. But, hopefully some youngsters will pick up the baton and continue with it.
Well, that's my hope. You know what I mean? When I do these videos, there's other people. I don't know if you've had people tell you this, but there's people on subs on my channel who said, "Chris, I never believed in this stuff before. You show me the light. In fact, I've now got Photoshop. I'm now analyzing these photos myself. This is fantastic. I never thought I'd find half the stuff in here." I got people that tell me, "Go, you don't understand. Every time you make a video, we all grab popcorn, just sit down and watch it at a big screen. We're just like, oh yeah, what's you got today?" So, and that's cool. But what's even cooler is that they're now starting to research this stuff themselves, and that's the whole goal. The goal is not so much, ooh, let's just show some videos and let's see people, they'll enjoy them just for entertainment. No, it's people are taking note, and they're becoming more and more awakened to the fact that this stuff is not just one little thing on a Mars photo and a satellite photo, one little thing in the rock. There's many things, and they're all over the darn place, and that's what people need to be aware of. And, like I said, I've shown some of these photos that I've got. In fact, that one that looked like those weird vehicle type things, and an opportunity photo. And when I show it to them, I get a glossy photo. It's a Kodak. I go, "Hey, guys, what do you think of that? What the heck is that?" I said, "What do you think that is?" It looks like an Army Jeep. And I don't say a word to these guys because it's in black and white. I don't say a word to them. I go, "What do you think of that?" Yeah. "It looks like an Army Jeep." I go, "Okay." Everybody I've asked said the same thing. So are we all mass delusional, or are we seeing the same thing?
Yeah.
Is it actually there? That's what people have to understand.
Chris, shall I share my screen?
Yes, go for it. I'll make sure the screen's bigger on this side. We'll sit back and we'll let you display it.
Before, so I hope it works.
I want to make this bigger here, full screen for you. I'm
Can
going to
you
get
see it?
Hold on, let me get my face out of here. We don't need me in there. Yep, we got you there.
Strange structures spotted near Raptor Zone Complex Pyramid. Can you see that article?
Yep.
Okay. There it is. That's what it looks like at 1:1 scale, Chris, in the JT2. And you can see from the surrounding terrain, right?
Yep.
Everything's rather random, cracks here and there. But look at the symmetry.
Yep.
That immediately stood out for me. And when you zoom in on it, and I used Illustrator.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's not natural.
Automatic rounding in Illustrator. So this is a perfectly symmetrical block that Illustrator made over here. I didn't physically make each of these bends. These are perfectly symmetrical.
Yep.
So look at that.
Yeah, nobody's going to tell me that that's natural.
And look at the shape of the inner one here.
Mm-hmm.
This side is parallel with this side. And it follows the same shape.
Yeah, that's cool.
It looks like this is at ground level. And we've got what looks like a wall around it. Looks like sand spilled over here on the top left and covered that wall.
You think that could have been hit by like some kind of tidal wave or something, like buried half of it? Or at least that corner?
Yep. If you look at the original, everything on Mars that I've seen is tilted over to the top left.
Yep.
So if sand would have come in here, I don't know, that could have been backwash.
Yeah.
Because remember, this is located where? In the northern mid-latitudes, I think. And it was underwater. The northern mid-latitudes, according to what I understand, was underwater, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This could have been on some sort of raised landmass, like an island or something.
Well, if you look at that corner, you can see where there's actually canals near it, right? So we don't know if that was some kind of... It looks like it actually goes into it. You see the ones just southwest of that circle, or that shape, that almost smooth square, where that structure looks like. You can see these canals right next to it. It looks like it washed into it at one time and maybe buried that corner.
And you know what, Chris? If you look at this sand bank up here to the right, can you see where my mouse cursor is?
Yeah.
It looks like sand pushed up against the side here on the left, went over the top and then flattened out in a gentle slope on the other side. Or I don't know. I don't understand geology well, but this, to me,
yeah, we understand the difference between natural and not natural. That's for sure.
And look at this inner wall. It's parallel with this one.
Yeah. So I'm saying that's not natural. No way that's not going to do that.
And then on top of it, we've got another square layer or level.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that is a disc. And there's a small conical feature over there on the one side.
Yeah, it is strange.
And it's very similar to this. Sorry, I'm taking a bit of time here, Chris.
Oh, you're
I just
fine.
want to show. See this?
Oh,
It's got
yeah.
the disc
Yeah. It's the same
and
thing in the middle there. Yeah, very similar
conical
anyway.
feature. So, let's go back there. Sorry, gents and ladies. Oh my, where am I now?
Actually, that was a cool video you did too, so you can talk about those as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah, these are cool.
will.
These are cool.
So back to there. That there looks like a disc with this funny thing on the top.
Almost looks pointy, yeah.
That's funny. Really weird. Okay, so you want me to look at these? Oh, this is what prompted me to contact Brian Forrester.
Right.
Because he was showing these megalithic blocks in Baalbek, Lebanon. The large one is called the pregnant woman of the south, stone of the pregnant woman, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same shape and size as these. Look at that. There you can see the squared or flat part on the one end.
Yeah. And it looks like the
That's
top
like
one.
one
Look at
of
the top one. It looks like there's faint lines, like just a little bit from the top, and then go down. There's another line, another faint line, and then it goes to the bottom part of it. See right there? There's a line there, and there's a line at the very top of it, just very not far from the top. There's a straight line going across. Go down a little bit. There's another one. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Come on. There's no way this stuff is just natural.
Check this block, right? See those protrusions?
Mm-hmm.
In this video, I showed countless examples of blocks like this, with a protrusion on one end and one on the other end.
Yep.
And it's in the same region of Mars.
Yeah, these are all natural, though. I think it's probably swamp gas. What do you guys think?
And this, what the hell is this thing?
Yeah, I love the way that's in like a squared off area. You see that around it?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's just natural. Don't worry about it, folks. Nothing to see here.
It's the planet Venus reflecting off swamp gas.
See, now we have an explanation. It's all been solved. Oh, my
Is there
God.
anything else that we can talk about, Chris, while I'm here? Let me show you. Lebanon. Sounds like a song.
Yeah.
Lebanon. Where is it? There.
Right there, yeah. Yep.
You see, look at the similarity to that one I showed you guys. And
Oh,
girls.
yeah, they're absolutely huge, too. These things are
Yes.
crazy big.
And this is how big those are on Mars.
Yep.
Just to put it in perspective, if you use the image scale indicator, 25 centimeters per pixel, and you look at those, and you count how many pixels there are in that photograph, and you multiply them with 25 centimeters, you get to this epic size. And now, people argue with me and they say, yeah, but remember, when lake beds dry out, the surface cracks up, and they make these square and rectangular shapes. How big are they?
Yeah.
A foot and a half, meter and a half in size.
Right.
And look at the uniformity of the width of those things. Those things on Mars can't be cracked up clay
No.
and stuff.
You can tell they look like they've been cut. They don't look like they're just random megalithic block.
Look at the width
Yeah.
on this one
And
side.
it looks consistent other than the dirt being up against the side of it.
And it looks exactly like that block I just showed you guys. There it is. So if someone's looking at this JP2, this is the actual size, 1:1, and they're going through it. They're not going to see anything. They're
Nope.
just going to see rocks. But if they remember the scale and they see that, a straight line,
Yep.
that automatically signals to me something's wrong there. That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
natural.
And like I said,
And then let's look.
combined with the other stuff you found, you go, okay, so, and I don't know if you heard this argument before, too. They say, well, they were probably pretty much technologically advanced. Why would they be using stone? We still use brick and stone today.
Yes.
I mean,
And-
don't get me wrong, we use other different materials now, but we have I-beams and stuff like that, but we still use rock and brick. I mean,
And
you know.
And why did the ancients build these megalithic structures here on Earth?
Right.
For the same reason that they probably built them there on Mars.
Yep, exactly right.
So, yes. So I'm asking Brian to look into this, but I don't know if he will. I'm just taking a shot in the dark. Maybe he can cast some light on this.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be something that you'd look at it, because I think a lot more scientists, whether it be geologists or whatever it may be, they need to start looking into this stuff. I mean, because this stuff is not mainstream, a lot of times you can get laughed at, scoffed at, whatever, and they're not taking it serious. But if you took somebody who said, well, who's a scientist, geologist, whatever, and says, wait a minute, just wait a second, that looks like megalithic, whatever that is, and why the hell is it on Mars? They need to start asking questions, but there's not enough of us pushing it into the mainstream, and that's the thing.
Look at these two blocks, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
They're identical. And we're looking at 8 meters long.
Well, I think
So
one's
you
more of
can
a square than a rectangle, but yeah, they're pretty darn
Yeah.
close. They look like they've been cut.
You can stand on this thing.
Yeah.
It's as big as a room. Look at the square blocks here. And then what is the deal with this?
Oh, I know. Almost every one of those. Look at the one above it. There's something in the middle or on the top of these megalithic. It looks like they're almost like they're roofs, and they got something on top of them, which is really weird.
Look
I mean,
at these blocks.
It's one thing to have a rock on top. That doesn't, I mean, you go, well, that's natural. It's no big deal. But you could see a ton of these things doing this.
Look at these two blocks.
Yeah.
They're virtually identical as well. And now we're looking at 12 meters long.
Yeah, that's quite large.
And that's what they'd look like typically.
Well, that's what the
In a
thing is.
NASA particle.
Listen, NASA, JPL, ESA, it doesn't matter who they are. They are just hoping people would just glance over this photo right here. Let's say I snapped on this photo and say, wow, that's just cool looking. But I'm not investigating. I'm not really zooming in, taking a closer look. I'm not analyzing. And that's what they're hoping people do. Stay ignorant and don't look at this stuff.
Yeah, look how bland this looks. But look closer.
Yep.
There in the center, and yeah.
And the one right above it. Just go to the one 12 o'clock right above that, right there, yeah. I mean, these things are huge. These aren't like little tiny stones here.
No. So, I don't know. Could be natural. Swamp gas, weather balloon.
Yeah, it could be. That's the that's the going consensus. But now James had said, when we looked at that, it looked like a little fortress with a wall around it. He said it looks like an old burial site in ancient Ireland. And yeah, he's right. I've seen some of these where they actually do that. So
It's
I don't know.
interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Quickly going back to UFOs. Remember Low Dobbs on CNN?
Yeah.
He did a feature, 5th of August 2002, where Boeing actually says anti-gravity is real.
Yep.
And the issue is scaling the science.
Yep. I mean, and they're a big part of the space, about space with NASA and everything else. They're huge, affiliated with them. Boeing. They all get a piece of this pie. Trust me.
They were actually looking for this guy.
Huh.
to talk to him about his anti-gravity experiments.
Hmm.
Boeing was looking for him. So yeah, and here's our famous guy from TTSA.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
He was involved even back then.
Yeah,
So,
I
yeah.
promise you, these people go way back into everything. You know, right
So
into
guys,
these.
check this out. This
Yeah.
was in mainstream on CNN. But look at the time, 6 o'clock Eastern.
Yep.
So no one was watching.
Nope.
That was a very strategic time slot, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're hoping people are just still in a coma in bed, and they're not even paying any attention to it, not even tuned in, and they'd be right. Half the people wouldn't be up.
So I just thought I'd chuck that one in there, Chris. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Is there anything else I can show you guys and girls?
No,
What did they
that's up to
say?
you. We'll let you run with it. It's up to you.
Oh my. No, how do I get back to it? Oh man, what have I done?
No, just go
Chris,
back
I
down to
can't get back.
the share screen at the very bottom. I think you can get out of there from there, can't you?
Oh my. Let's just see. Something went wrong. I need
There we
to
go.
quit the sharing. Have I quit sharing?
Yeah, you're good. You are good. And here we are. Oh, what happened to you? Well, we temporarily lost him for a moment. Let's see what happens. See if we can get him back in there. He might have hit the wrong button. But yeah, I mean, guys, what do you think about that? That's pretty cool, right? Let me see here. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Let's see if we can get him back on there. What's going on there, Mags? Good to see you there, Metalhead. William Talbot. Oh, how was that potato supposed to have been taken from? Yeah, I know. It seemed like all of these UFO videos, right? They always seem to be taken with a potato. At least that's a common saying, right? Very piss poor, very crappy, unreal. Josh Steve, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Cryptic code, and he disappeared. Let's see if we can get him back. Let's see. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh.
Chris,
I'm
are
here.
you there?
I'm here.
You know what happened?
You must have hit the wrong
Skype
button.
updated itself. Skype just updated itself.
Oh, nice.
So all my settings are gone, so I had to choose another background image.
Nice. Super cool, especially when I combine yours with Jean's work. Oh, yeah. Let me see here. I don't know if that's going to mess up my settings, but let's see what happens. Oh. Now he's in a... What? Because now he's sitting in the cafeteria somewhere. And he's having a meeting with the big bosses. Oh. So I think he's been pulling the wool over our eyes, guys. What do you think? He can teleport. Oh.
I'm on Mars, under a dome. Can't you see?
Here.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Oh, Scratch, what's going on?
My
Giza is
apologies
linked.
to everyone.
Giza is linked to a Zidonian on Mars using a formula that Carl Monk discovered that links all ancient sites on Earth. That I'm not even surprised with. I mean, just the pyramids alone, right? Pyramids alone, they're like all over the equatorial region, at least pretty darn close, right? All around the world. So a lot of them, people speculate that it could have been like a power link around Earth. They speculate a lot of things, but I think it's cool that you can go to like the Bosnia, you can go to the Egyptian, just about all of these. You go to Japan. There's still pyramids all over the world that haven't been even unburied yet. So
Yeah, and Chris, those that I found on Mars are also close to the equator.
yeah.
They also strap and they're very close to Curiosity, Insight, and that area there of Mars.
Yeah. Yep.
Julia says, Mars Anomalies and Beyond and Jean Ward are two of the most prolific and credible investigative journalists on the internet today. Wow. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Much love to you, Julia. I appreciate that. I hope everything's working out for you,
That
by the
is
way.
so
We've been
nice.
talking
Thank you.
back and forth a little bit, so hope everything's going well for you. And thank you for the kind words. Phil C., thank you very much for your support, sir. You said you guys got this. Glad to be a subscriber to both y'all. I mean, that stuff you two point out, I'd never notice. And that's the thing. I love the way he's being honest like that, because here's the thing. Years ago, I would have looked at these photos. Next. Next. Never would have thought nothing of it. But all of a sudden you stop. Now people are going, no, I just go to one photo and I scrutinize the hell out of it. And good for them. That's what it's all about. And I've been saying this, because most people, what do? They just peruse right over these things, don't think nothing of it. Oh, that's a cool video. Next. Oh, a photo, right? Next. Don't think anything of it. Until they start to get in there and go, wow. Like, we can look at, like, these panoramas. And when you look at these things up close, you can see, like, little steel things sticking out of rocks. Just weird things in the rocks you shouldn't see, but you would never notice it unless you did a deep zoom. So I'm glad people are doing this now.
Yeah, Chris, I actually spoke to Rich from Goofon the other day as well.
Oh, did you?
And he features some of our videos from time to time. I'm sure you've seen he's featured one of your moon videos already too.
I don't know if I have. I don't think I have.
Rich from Goofon.
Yeah.
He's featured some of your moon anomalies.
He's been on here. He was on here last week. Rich actually jumped in here. Yeah.
In the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Which is, it was awesome to see him in there. But he was talking about, we were trying to figure out whether we thought, what's his name? Mr. Walton there, the one that was supposed to be abducted by a UFO.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what is his name, guys? I'm drawing a blank here. Travis Walton. Travis Walton. And
correct.
They were trying to say that, he's a hoax. Now, whether he's not, he had this phone call that was given to him. And it shows these. You can hear the guy that was actually driving around Travis, I think it was. And I probably get this all messed up now, but he said that basically they were like, yeah, they want to act like it's try to make this look like a big deal and all this other. So I don't know, And I think he said he believed Travis still, and I'm still, I believe Travis too. I think they're just trying to, basically debunk him and just make him look like trash. Maybe because he's gotten so much, recognition from this, and I'm almost positive he passed a lie detector test and everything. And they said, well, the reason why he passed is because they only asked him one UFO question. Okay, but had they asked other questions pertaining to that, even if it wasn't about that specific UFO, would he have not been bagged and lied and would have sent the thing off in a tivvy? I mean, I don't know. But it was cool to see him in there. He jumped in there and then he hopped off. So it was cool to see him in there. He's pretty funny too. Rich he's a character. I love it though. He shoots straight from the hip. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, I must say he's changed over the years too. Because in the beginning he was a little more trying to debunk
rigid
all the time and stuff. But now he's more into being a little more open-minded and investigating things a little more. I actually showed him how to look for anomalies as well. He didn't know.
Oh yeah.
And then I showed him and he said, no, he's not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Really? Wow.
He doesn't have time. Chris, it takes hours.
Yeah, it does.
I spend 5 hours a day.
Oh, easily.
You're at home. Now that I'm working remotely, while I'm waiting for work to come in, I sit and go through photographs.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
that's the way to do it.
Busy.
Yeah. I mean, the way I look at it is like, it takes at least 4 to 5 hours to do a video. And people don't realize that. It can take almost as much time as you do at your normal job.
It does.
And people go, oh, they just find a picture, they just scratch a little something on it, circle something, and they're off and running. Oh, no. It takes much more work than that. But I don't care to do it. I don't. Because we're finding something new all the time, and, they get to weigh in on it and tell us what they think, which is awesome. And, you see it on yours all the time. Well, fantastic find, blah, 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 blah. And people go, I'm just curious. I wonder if I could find the same stuff he finds. So then they end up looking at the stuff themselves, and now it perpetuates, and now they're doing it. And that's awesome to me. I hope people start taking the torch and running with it, because at some point we're going to quit doing this. I mean, one way or the other. Either going to phase out, whatever happens to you, you just got to be going. And you hope that people will come up from behind and start doing the same thing you were doing. You know what I mean? Because this stuff needs to be out. It's not going to stop. There's always going to be more missions.
Luckily, Jimmy's there. He's quite young still, isn't he?
Oh, no. He's about our age.
Really? Oh no. He's
Yeah.
gonna take over from us, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping, but but no, I'm not. No, but I mean, I think he's pretty close to our age
Oh, okay.
because he's got several kids of his own. I think he's got 2 or 3 kids of his own.
Oh, awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, he's actually started another channel too. It's got to do with strictly UFOs. I think he started another channel.
Oh, he has.
Yeah,
Ooh, okay. Yeah,
I got to try to remember which one it was. If you go to his normal channel, you just go on the video. He shows where it is, or he shows the name of it. So it's cool, and I think I announced it last time. The last couple of times I announced it, where they can have a look. And he just started. He did like a pilot video, just so he can tell people that they were, he's going to have these UFOs. I don't mind doing the UFO thing because I want to have a combination of both. I still want to have my findings, but I want to have those occasionally. And I still got people sending me stuff in. They're like, and if I find it, that it looks pretty legit, I'm going to go with it. But, I mean, you can see some things that are just so darn fake, it's not even funny. Now, there may be stuff that you're like, on the fence about. Let the subscribers decide. Let them, voice their opinion. Saying, or, hey, that looks pretty cool. That looks, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, everybody's going to have their opinion about it. It's either going to be, I think that's good. And some people are going to say, I think that's bogus. And they have every right to do that. I mean, but I like the idea that people are getting more and more into this, and it's just awesome. Louis Longbeard, thank you very much for your support, sir. You said, hey, Chris and Jean, hope you're both doing well. Another week, and E.T. still hasn't come home. Love the Hangouts. Keep up the good work. I love it. Yeah, well, E.T. I think's been here. And he's been here quite a bit. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Who was that guy, Ben Rich, that said we took E.T. home?
Yeah,
Wasn't
no,
it?
what was it? Oh, no, you know what you got me confused with? I was thinking of, remember that channel? I don't know if they're still on there. You guys, you ever see Rich Planet? I think it was Rich Planet. I think his name is Richard. And I swear to God, I listened to him one time, this was years ago, and I heard him say something about the Curiosity. It might have been the Curiosity rover. And he says, how does this thing keep running? The solar panels, to get dusty and everything. And I'm going, do these guys even know what the hell they're talking about? Curiosity is not solar powered. I'm going, I'm confused. These guys are idiots. So I was just going, wow. And they're trying to tell people that it's so fake that they're going to Mars and they can't even get their facts straight. I'm going, yeah, I'm going to listen to your channel. Sure. No. They're doing everything they can to debunk it. It's like, well, okay. If you find just cause, I get it. In other words, if somebody said, listen, I got personal information and real private information, I'm going to show you, I've got pictures and everything showing that this is the real deal, that they're absolutely faking this, I would blow that out of the water right now today. If they showed Apollo missions were absolutely faked. Now, of course, they had some in the Whitney Code. They were testing and stuff like that inside these giant buildings and everything else. And they were doing stages and stuff like that. And I believe that, what's his name, Kubrick actually did some of these just in case there was a failure. Or, I think why he did it was to show them having fun, drilling samples, having all kinds of fun. Ooh, hitting a golf ball. But that's not why they were there. The real action was going on. We were seeing what Kubrick did, and then we're seeing what really happened on the moon and what they really saw. That's what I think was happening at the same time. Now, if somebody said, there's an insider said, listen, I got proof, I can show you this right now, it's absolutely bullshit, I would blow this out of the water right now. And people go, but what would happen to your channel? I'll move on to something else. The point is, it's about truth. Let's get it out. So if the truth is that's true, I'll blow it out of the water right off the bat. Somebody blamed me one time. They said, oh, well, you're probably working with them. I went, let me get this right. So I'm calling them liars and everything else, but I'm working for them. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's legit. I went, come on. I mean, I don't know. But
well, I've been accused of working for NASA as well, as a disinformation agent.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I've been accused of that as well. Oh, you're trying to confuse the people. I'm going, no. See, the thing is, it's not mainstream. So it's out of their realm of thinking. And I'll be truthful with you. I was the same way years ago. Same way. Because like I said, when I first started looking at these, I'm going, why is that in this photo? I had this problem with wrapping my head around something that could be on Mars because I was always told as a child, through school, cold, barren, dead planet. So in a million years, I'm going, no, this doesn't make sense. Why is this stuff on Mars? So as more I looked at it, now I was already looking at moon photos. So I'm going, okay, but if there's something on the moon that's not ours, why is it far-fetched to believe something could be on Mars and not be ours?
Yes.
So we have how many countries now going to Mars, and there's a lot of affiliated countries actually working with them as well, like ESA and I think Russia, I think it is. I think they're kind of like the cosmonaut kind of thing, they're now working together now, I think. But, you know, when you, between ESA, United States, it just goes on and on. These people are going there for a reason. They're not spending billions upon billions of dollars. Hey, let's have another drill sample of that rock. They're not doing that. I don't believe that in a million years. They may be doing it now, meaning, is there a way we can make fuel? Is there a way we can sustain food here? And maybe this is the reason why they're drilling certain areas and doing certain things to try to find this out. But as far as the original reason for going there, no, I don't buy that. In fact, they even said, and somebody commented earlier on one of my videos, they said that back during the time of the Viking lander, they said, no, that was confirmed. They actually said, yes, we actually found microbial life back then. And of course, no. They red flagged us. Oh, no, we're not sure of that. So they took 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. So I'm going, come on, just tell the frickin' truth. How hard is it? So, but you know how they are. They don't want people going, oh, really? Structures? Something on Mars? What's up there? What are you guys hiding? Because you know they're going to do that. You know they're going to do it. Thomas Rice, thank you very much for your support, sir. I do appreciate it. You said, is that right there? Oh, just jumped on me here. Jean, Chris, to me, you guys are heroes. Thank you. Well, I appreciate it, Thomas. And again, thank you.
Thank you. I wish I had a superhero outfit.
Yeah, I'm going to get me a cape or something.
I won't look good in one, though.
Yeah, you go, yeah, maybe back when I was younger. But, hey, we tried.
It's like that movie Watchers. Was it Watchers?
Might have been.
About the old superheroes. Oh, man.
It's like, guys, please don't do that again. Ever.
But talking about the purpose behind the missions to the moon, the astronauts were given a mandate to look for technology in the ancient structures.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, but the general public doesn't know about that.
No.
That was their mandate. If you find structures, look for technology. That was their mandate.
Oh, I guarantee it.
And that's where the Brookings report was so important.
I think,
what
is it?
1959, eh?
Julia, where were you a couple weeks ago when I was down in Naples? She said, thank you. I fly to Naples tonight. See you next Saturday. Big love. Much love to you as well, Julia. Where were you a couple weeks ago? I was down in Naples. Be careful. That stuff is running rampant as far as COVID, the new strain. In fact, I actually got a little touch of something when I came back, but I don't know if it's the actual changes in temperature and area and atmosphere and stuff like that, but I was like, I had a little bit of a fever, a little tiny bit of sore throat, nothing major, but it's, you feel a little achy and stuff like that. I'm going, good Lord. But, it's going to happen. But it was funny because when we left, we were back almost a week from our vacation, so I was working. And they come out, they said, there's 110,000 new cases in Florida today. I'm going, great, that's fantastic. So then I call my daughter, and she says, oh, by the way, she said, I'm feeling like crap. I'm not feeling good. She works for the post office, and there was 2 girls next to her that actually had the new strain. She's going, oh, great, here we go, right? So she went and got checked out. The first one is just a quick test. Passed it, negative. So she goes, I'm going to go for the real test because I want to be absolute sure. It was negative. So it might just be a little cold type, kind of flu type. See, people don't realize that. They go, maybe you got COVID. Well, whatever happened to the common cold or a slight flu? Did they just go down to Tahiti and take a vacation? I mean, they're still going to be running around too. It's not just a COVID, but of course they'll put it underneath that. You know what I mean? We'll just rank that right in with the COVID. But what happens if you have a standard cold that's, it's pretty bad and you get a slight fever? Is that automatically COVID, or does that mean you have a bad cold?
Chris, the CDC released an article not too long ago addressed to laboratories around the world. And in it they say that the PCR test was intended to test for a coronavirus, which includes influenza, flu, and COVID-19.
All generalized test. That's all it is.
Yeah. So if you get tested positive, you're testing positive for a coronavirus.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Testing positive for SARS-CoV-2, influenza, or flu. Because in South Africa, only one person last year in Joburg passed away from influenza.
Yeah.
It's statistically impossible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the PCR test is can't really distinguish
Well, I think a couple.
which one of the coronaviruses you have.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, well, I was reading up on that too, the CDC. This is what I find amusing. They said that if you are unvaccinated and you catch the corona, whether it's the new strain or whatever, one, you may have antibodies that may last up to 6 months. Okay, that makes sense. So you could catch it again. But if you are vaxxed, you have been vaccinated, you need a booster shot every 6 months. Wait, please stop it. Just stop. You know, it's like they're trying to put the fear into now people left and right, and people are slowly getting it because they're like, oh my God, they're literally fear-mongering. Again, and I said this a million times, it is not fake. It is absolutely real. It's out there. However, I also heard a CDC guy say, oh no, this wasn't a CDC, this is another guy, where he said it is more transmissible, however, it is not deadlier. Okay, so, and it's got what? The mortality rate is what? I think it's like 99.96, something like that. So the chances of you getting it and dying from it is slim, unless you've been fully compromised. Like you're in really bad health to begin with. Like one guy that was locally here, he died of a heart attack, but he had COVID. So right off the bat, what do they think? Oop, it has to be. It has to be COVID. No, he had a bad heart, and it probably just weakened him and killed him. That's not what killed him. You know, it probably weakened him in the process, and he was probably, I hate to say the term, he was on his way out. But you know what I'm saying, right? It's like, it's like, oh, the poor guy got in a car accident, broke his toe, but it was COVID. I can almost guarantee it. I mean, come on. When does this stupidity stop? You know? I said to people, listen, if you need to get that test, you believe you need to get it, you should go out and get it tomorrow. However, for me, my opinion, I'm not doing it. Because, it's like, and I think Julie and I were talking about, it's an autoimmune dependency vaccine, which means every time you have an issue now with anything, you're going to need a vaccine for it because your immune system's now shit. It's going to depend on a vaccine to help you now, instead of your own immune system kicking in. That's not good. That's not good at all. So, I don't know. You know, you hear this and you hear that. You know, what are the true facts? I don't know.
Chris, in South Africa, there's a guy on YouTube. He's a South African political commentator, 00 Des. And two of his channel subscribers, it's handed him 2 death certificates.
Mm-hmm.
The one was of a mother whose son passed away in a motor car accident, and the other guy passed away of a heart attack.
Yep.
And in both cases, on the death certificate, they pronounced these people died of COVID-19.
Yeah. So how many numbers are there that are actually overinflated?
Just wrong.
Yeah. So how much is it really overinflated? You know, if you died because you had maybe just pneumonia, and it wasn't even COVID, well, COVID. Like, it's ridiculous. So how many can we actually write off as not being COVID? I don't know. It's ridiculous.
66%?
Listen, 6, he wrote on here, Canada court case found corona to be exist, the way he put it, to not exist. They cannot find when or where it was isolated, so it's all a hoax, like normal flu. Well, and I totally agree with you. I think it's more of a flu than it's anything, because what do you get? Every time you get this, flu-like symptoms. And how many people die of the flu every year? So it's nothing special. Again, I'm not downplaying it because it is out there, and it can kill you, of course. But that doesn't mean everybody should run out there and go, I'm scared. It's like, listen, if you've got a good immune system, you're going to get it and you're going to get over it. It's the same thing. My wife was talking about some woman that we know here, around here. She went and got the shot. Corona. Now, they claim that Corona's not in it. It's supposed to help your antibodies, recognize this virus, and is supposed to fight it off. Well, then why is it that people who get this seem to get the damn symptoms? It doesn't make sense. And I said, so let me get this right. So if I go out, and like I said, I might have a touch of it. I don't know. But if I got it, but here's the thing. I contracted it. All right, she goes out and she gets it. And even though she's vaccinated, she contracts it. Are we gonna do the same thing? The difference is my immune system will continue to work, where hers, the way they're describing it, will fail to work. And every time she gets the littlest thing, she's going to need to go to the hospital because her immune system's not going to kick in anymore. So I don't think that's a good thing.
Chris, I agree with you. Look, there's a court case down in Cape Town, here in South Africa, where a group called the Liberty Fighters Network is taking the government to court, the SA government. And they are asking them to produce an isolated variant of the virus. They want an isolated virus. And the court case has been going on for months now because they can't produce a sample.
Yeah.
They can't, what do they call it? Oh, man, you know what I mean. They can't isolate it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, again, is it just a common cold that's really bad that you get? Or is it this monster virus that they claim it is?
Well, I've had all the symptoms, all of them.
Yeah. Yep. I think I had it when it very first broke out. The very first COVID-19. It broke out. And I had like a weird feeling in my chest for like 3 weeks. I had a cough, congestion. I never had anything like it. And this is the first time in a long time I had like a fever for like 3 days now. So I'm like, okay, so I'm keeping on top of it. I'm taking some vitamin C, and I got vitamin D and everything else, and taking a little bit of, maybe some NyQuil, DayQuil, just try to keep it down, keep it cool, and that's it. Just go with it. Just your body will kick its ass at some point. Now, if you find you're having complications, well, then you probably should go to the doctors. But, if you ever been through a flu before, it's not a big deal. Your body will get over it. I mean,
Well, I did. I'm sitting right here. I survived it.
Imagine that. We got a survivor here, folks. 6, he says.
I don't know what I had.
6 says, as Jean, they have not isolated anything have to do with COVID-19. Yes, Chris, it's common. Yeah. They tried to say all this crap. What was that one senator who was literally jumping on Fauci? What was he saying about him? He was asking him questions about it. He was like, he couldn't answer the question. He says, listen, what do you say he is? He's got a master's or something in virology. So he's saying, look, I know how this stuff works. Don't tell me how this stuff works. And he's going on and on, well, you don't understand, sir. I mean, and then the other girl that's with Fauci, well, the other guy was saying this. Well, what he was trying to say was, I'm like, these guys are 3 clowns on this panel, and they don't know a frickin' thing they're talking about. And, you know what this is all about? How much is the pharmaceutical company making off this? Think about it. When these shots first came out, it was supposed to be free. And you can ask Jimmy this. Jimmy Roberts. He said he went and got his done. And they said, sir, do you have your, what was it? They wanted his ID. And then they wanted, I think, his health coverage card. So what do you need that for? Oh, we just want to make sure you had it. They charged him $300 for it, for that test. It's supposed to be the freebie, remember? And he got charged for that. Ask him about it. He'll tell you. And I was like, what? So if they're charging every one of these healthcare systems, think about it, every one of your health coverage, how much money are they making off this virus? Wow. How many people have been vaccinated?
Not just on the vaccine, on the PPE as well, Chris.
Yes. Yep.
Do you
Same
know how many
thing.
people have been busted in South Africa for fraud and corruption when it came to the PPE?
Yep.
Millions.
Yep.
Millions spent.
Wow. It's sad. But like I said, I don't downplay it as far as you get a flu, and if you're weak, this may actually put you in trouble. But
it is real.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt about it. I don't downplay it or just say it's wrong or it's false. It's fake. No. But the way they're making it sound, when they get cornered, Fauci, and you can actually see he starts flipping out. You ever see him do that? He'll start going, well, sir, hold on a minute, like he's being attacked. And he starts like, oh, I don't know what you mean. He said it to one guy, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Sir, you know what I mean. Stop playing coy. And, he won't answer the questions because he's being cornered. He doesn't mind spouting it off when they're giving him free reign of the camera and saying, well, this is what's going on with the COVID. But as soon as they question him, he cowards down because he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And I'm not saying he's a total idiot. Clearly he knows something. He's not a total moron. But, I don't have any trust for the man. I don't.
Fauci was involved in a terrible thing to humanity. He okayed research where they take, I don't know if I should mention this, but aborted fetuses, and they would take the skull.
Yep.
And plant it onto rats for virus research.
Yeah.
He's involved with stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I understand that a lot of...
That to me, it's not right, man. How can we trust this guy?
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is this, is that when I understand they have to do certain tests in a laboratory, which we probably would never want to know about, but the way I look at it is like, when you remember these viruses came out, there was no testing, hardly any testing. And then they came out with it quickly. And then they said, remember before they actually gave this BS about, it's FDA approved. No, it was not. And to this day, it's not FDA approved. None of them. They're still trying to FDA approve these things. So people are just, willfully taking it. Listen, I'm not. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? And now they're trying to, put mandates on it. You can't go into buildings unless you got the... That's fine. That's fine. You lost my business. I don't have a problem with it. I'll get, I'll have them Uber my food over. I don't give a shit.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't give a crap.
For a year and a half, I'm fine.
I'm so hurt.
They're now going to pay you guys $100. Did you see, Chris, for every vaccine you get?
Oh, heck. I mean, in this state here, they were offering, you can get 1.5 million. This is no bullshit. There was a F-150 pickup truck you could win. You were put in a lotto. So if you got it, they picked out names. They add everything from local games here. You can get the season ticket for it. You can win this, that, and the other, up to $1.5 million if you got that. Why are they pushing this so darn much? Think about this. I've never seen, in the time I've been alive, ever seen this.
Yes.
There's got to be something wrong that they're doing anything they can to, please get it. Just get it. Well, listen, offer your money, anything. Why? What is the deal? They don't even do this to the flu every darn year. I don't get it.
I know. Chris, are we getting back to Mars?
Yes.
What have we got to talk about next?
Let's see. Noodles, consider this. He says, a Chilean Air Force vid came out of an invisible UFO adding hot gases to our atmosphere slowly. So was that an alien virus being introduced? Let's not blame Bill Gates and Tony. True. Yeah, I mean, think about it. And that's another thing, too. If we were to talk about UFOs, if they really wanted to kill off this planet, could they not just do that?
Oh, yes, easily. I'm sure.
Why not? You don't have to bomb anything other than just, we'll just go ahead and kill off these life forms on this planet. We know that they're intolerant to certain things. And it's kind of the same thing. We can segue right into these UFOs. It's funny how everything they don't do, our instruments try to pick up engine signatures. Like, in other words, they pick up all kinds of technology. So they want to see, like, a field around it. They can't register the heat signature of this thing. No propulsion. And funny enough, these UFOs are made to basically dodge our equipment. This is what makes me believe that these are ours. Now, I'm not saying all of them are, but that's what, as far as the tic-tac, things like that.
Oh, yes. Look, yeah, I'm sure. Look, if you are developing the detection equipment, you know exactly how to bypass it.
Yeah.
There's ways.
Well, I mean, just build something to it. It's kind of like I said
It's like
earlier.
radio jamming. It's easy.
Yeah, it's kind of like I said about the company that makes, the same company that makes radar detectors makes the police speed guns, the speed guns for the police departments. So think about it. They're playing both sides of the field, and
yes.
it makes sense. So what do they do? Okay, the guns can pick up a certain car or whatever. Wait a minute. We know exactly how to read that gun that's out there. This guy's holding. Tells you to slow down. Okay. You know, come on. So if I'm going to build a UFO, I'm going to make sure it's invisible to the equipment, and I know what our equipment and our military is capable of. So I'm going to turn around and build something that can't be seen or like check through different sensors.
Yes, it's like the military-industrial complex. They sell weapons to the two countries are at war, and they'll sell weapons to both of them. It's what about the money, man?
Yeah, that's all it is. It's about big bucks. Always has been.
You create the problem, you provide the solution. That's it. That's how they work.
Let's see. Raquel Gelsum says Gates is another murderer. Couldn't agree less than that. Definitely.
Chris, I've got so much to talk about, but I'm scared we're going to get banned off of YouTube.
Oh, yeah, we could go on and on, couldn't we? And we were talking about this, kind of like, oh, yeah, we could get into all kinds of subjects, but, yeah.
We'll get deplatformed.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, this is stuff that's real world, and, you know, people need to know. I mean, I'm learning something new every day. You know what I mean? But I think that it's stuff we should know. I don't think, you know, I think it's talk among, this is people around the world here. So, and in fact, somebody was just saying, where was it? Okay. Phil Cox, he said, I have never done anything that the UK government has said. None of the rules are lawful. I have never been challenged on anything. Let me see. Elaine Millard
Honestly, I must
says...
stop smoking. Okay, John.
Elaine,
I'll stop smoking.
Elaine Millard says, Senator Ron Paul, in fact, I was just watching a video about him too, asked Fakey, instead of Fauci, if he had ever seen spike protein S1 before. Fauci stalled, waved some papers around, and demanded to know which particular research do you mean? That's exactly what I'm talking about. He did that to another senator when he got cornered. Absolutely right. The guy's, listen, he's either being paid, he's probably making big bank off this virus, and he's just like, I'll tell the people whatever. What do you want me to tell them, President? What do you want me to say? I'll be your puppet. Just grease my palm. Let me see. Josh D said, sadly in Holland, what you and Jean say is considered conspiracy and forbidden and prosecuted. Really? Damn, that ain't good.
Chris, our company actually monitors our social media, and if we say anything that they don't like, they actually take disciplinary action against us. Some people have been fired.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
For spreading what they call disinformation.
Well, I mean...
That's how far it goes.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is like, it's different. It's... let me see. I just said, okay. Okay. Let me shut that off so I don't ding again. Just came through the speakers on my Bluetooth. I was like, what the heck? Yeah, I was rocking out earlier, listening to some Ozzy Osbourne, all kinds of crazy stuff. But anyway, so we were just talking about what Josh D put, and then you were just saying what? Sorry about that. Let me see. Let me move this. Okay, there we go.
I see we're both wearing blue shirts.
Yeah.
Who says, I want a blue shirt? Who said that now?
Aaron like Flynn. I
Someone
like you
says
put
they also want, oh, it was John that says, can I also have a blue shirt?
Yeah, the blue collar workers. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it was just weird because I said, well, let me just throw the shirt on. And then I was talking to Jean before the before we got on here, and I was like, oh, check him out. He's got the shirt on too. I said, look at this crap.
I just want to take off my jacket, Chris.
Yeah, it looks like that. Looks like that cafeteria is a little warm there. You might want to take that off.
It is. Things are warming up here in South Africa.
I don't know.
Okay. So what are we going to look at? Have you got stuff lined up, Chris?
Absolutely not. I don't. Actually, because I went on to, I just put the video on this morning. I was actually had like a real tough week as far as working, and I was like, I got to at least squeeze this one video out. So I ended up doing it yesterday and finished it up editing this morning and put it out there. And I like the idea of people coming more and more forward with UFOs. I don't want to try to cover other UFOs that like really creep into the kind of just BS category. I don't want to do that. I was going to save that weird one where it showed now. Here's another one here. This one's pretty cool. See if I can find this. TMZ to air special on UFOs and Pentagon's proof. And I was going, TMZ? Why the heck would they do that? But let me show you this. This is pretty interesting.
We're talking about something that people are seeing. It's odd. A new and unprecedented U.S. intelligence report offers no explanation for what it calls unidentified aerial phenomena and stops short of ruling out alien life. Oh, yes, we're talking aliens. TMZ investigates UFOs, the Pentagon proof as well. We get details from executive producer Harvey Levin. Harvey, good morning. I mean, U.S. military pilots are talking about this. It's clear they've seen some things.
Oh, they have seen some things, but not
Chris?
just them. But a lot of people have seen these things. So look, the Pentagon looked at 144 incidents.
In about 10 minutes on my side, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to take a body break, man. And it's already like 20-1 now on this side.
I was going to say, yeah. Okay.
Cool, man.
All right, let me just run this here.
All but one, they have no idea. They say there are 5 possibilities. They say it could be U.S. technology, foreign adversaries, natural phenomenon, airborne clutter, or other. So what we do in the show is we look at each of those one by one with a Harvard scientist, with former Pentagon officials, Navy pilots, U.S. senators, and others. And I will tell you, they knock a bunch of those off the table. Lauren, this is not human technology.
This guy looks like Homer.
Human
I swear to
beings
God, just seen
have
your
never
comment.
been able to produce an object that can go from 80,000 feet to sea level in a second and a half,
lens flare.
breaking
Look how
the
it's
sound
pulsing.
barrier without a sonic boom, flying without wings, a propulsion system.
You can even
exhaust,
see the reflection
anything
of
like
it
that.
up above it.
We don't
I
make
know.
Lens flare
and
stuff.
so
Crap.
when you
That's a
listen to
balloon.
this and
A
you
Batman
because this
balloon.
isn't where we
You'll
start
find,
with a premise. This is where
found
we
one.
look at
Looks
the
exactly the
options.
same.
And I think a lot of people are going to say that what we're left with is other. And then the
That
question
looks like
is,
a
what
rubbish
is
bag.
other? And I think that's where this report ends and the serious study needs to begin.
What I love is the idea is people are getting more and more on board with this. And that's what it's all about to me. You know, whether it's a bunch of crap or, let me get this back here. Oh,
At least we're getting the time of day now.
yeah, I mean, and I think more and more needs to come back. I mean, they need to do more drilling on this. But stop with the, oh my God, they're a threat thing. When I can almost guarantee, let's say it's in another country of ours. Let's just say for argument's sake, it's not us, meaning the United States, it's some other country. You don't think that they wouldn't be spying on these countries and seeing, wait a minute, it just came from that mountain, or it just came from China, or it just came from Russia. You're telling me they can't figure this out? Come on. They got to know who this spacecraft is. I don't buy that for a minute. The technology we have today, I don't believe that.
Okay, I'll admit the truth. These are all South African.
Oh, see, now about time you let the cat out of the bag.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chris.
The truth comes out, guys, see? Oh, my God, that's too funny. Well, I mean, oh, my God.
That's the last country you'd expect to see something that
You
from
go,
there.
oh, the truth comes out. We know. He's got the inside information.
Australia, South Africa, New Zealand. We're behind it all.
Yeah, maybe all right. Well, I mean, the way I look at it is like I'm hoping that there's more real information out there and not this constant threat, kind of threatening message that we're getting constantly, because the public is getting set up to be, oh my God, what happens if they're going to... Now, I don't know if anybody, has anybody even in the chat room, have heard anybody going, I'm deathly afraid of this stuff they keep talking about on TV? No! Everybody goes, that's cool. Nobody gives a shit. Have you heard anybody talk about that? And if you did, were they in fair? No. Nobody cares.
I see Mimi React says they are German. Yeah, these are, what do they call it?
Jawohl, Kapitän.
Anabu craft powered by the Vril.
Yep. Well, here's the thing. I mean, they go way back in the day, right? When they were talking about the Hanabu 1 and 2. They were talking about all these crafts and the bell that they had made. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's getting to the point where I laugh at these things when I see them on TV now. They're actually laughable.
It says District 9 is a great movie.
It is.
Yeah, that was made by a South African.
I like what this guy Neil put on there. Neil Everett put, if you ate my missus cooking, you'd go from 0 to 80 kilometers feet in 2 seconds. Oh my God. Oh, that's good. I like that. Oh my God. That is too good.
Anyways, Chris, it's getting close to knocking off time for me.
Yes, I know.
20 to 1 in the morning.
Man, already?
And yeah, man, I've got things to do. No, I'm joking.
He's gonna go to sleep. Don't let him kid you guys. he's like, I'm old. I gotta go to sleep. But I feel you. I mean, I was like busy all week, and I know you, like you said, you're doing work from home now, right? As opposed to actually going there, because you said you get the shutdown in your country, right?
Still full on, yes.
Really? Now, has it ever stopped, or is that like you had an intermitting time where you didn't have to, right?
We got to level 1 lockdown, but we had strict curfews.
Mm-hmm.
The masks were still mandatory, and they still are, as well as social distancing, washing of hands. It's the same. The only difference is now we're in level 3 again.
Jesus.
And our curfew hours are a little stricter. And they also want to bring in, you must be vaccinated before you're allowed in a restaurant or into a shop.
Yeah, they're doing that in New York City as well.
But our unions are threatening the ANC government at the moment. They say if you bring it in, there's going to be big trouble. Because the unions in this country own the taxi operators. And in South Africa, there's a big taxi industry because there's no public transport, or a very poor public transport. And what these guys do, our taxi drivers are extremely violent. And they'll shoot you for no reason. Mm-hmm. And these guys have got AK-47s. It's legacy of the past, They got all these weapons from Russia and Cuba. But I don't want to go into politics because we'll get deplatformed.
Yeah, that's not good.
But there's stockpiles of these weapons in this country. And Kusatu, who's the main union leader in this country, has threatened the ANC and said, nope, you cannot mandate it. So we're going to see what happens.
Well, I mean, it's happening here, too. Like I said, I mean, it's getting to the point where now it's mandated that you have to wear a mask again. It's coming up. If you don't have the Vax card, you can't come into our restaurant. At least New York City's, and I think other people are starting to do this, too. Am I right or wrong, guys? Other countries and other states are starting to do this as well. And I go, that's fine. Listen, I'll just, like I said, I'll have my stuff brought over here. Call a Uber, come bring my stuff here or whatever. I don't care. I'm not worried about it. In fact, it'll save me money. I think we were talking about this before the getting on here. I was like, I don't have a problem. I'll save money. I'll buy my own food and just eat at home. I don't have to worry about going out to eat. Save myself some bread. But, yeah, like if you want to bow out, go ahead and do so, sir. And
that was awesome, Chris.
Yes, as always, it's good to have you in there. And like I said, next time we'll have you on there, you can bring in some more awesome stuff. And like I said, if you guys are not familiar with Jean Ward, go to his channel. And like I said, it is called Jean Ward. And just go to his channel and subscribe to it. Hit the notification bell, because those are awesome. Because if you don't, you won't get notified of any new videos. And just make sure you do that. And I think you'd be happy you did, because he shows a lot of cool stuff. We show it on the ground. He shows it more satellite, so it's awesome. Anyway, Jean, good seeing you. Have yourself a good, good weekend.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris, for providing this platform.
Yeah, well, we try to, like, I wanted to get on there sooner, but because, like you said, we had difficulties. Well, you had difficulty on your end, and like I said, we almost didn't make it this today. But it worked out well. Everything worked out well, so
yes,
we're good.
It did.
So anyway,
Yeah.
like I said, everybody say bye, Jean.
Good night, everybody.
Good having you in there as
See you in the
always.
next video.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon and keep up the good videos, all right?
Thanks, Chris.
All right, we'll see you later.
Let me see. Cheers, man. Let me just see if I can quit.
Yeah,
I
just hit the
can't
hang up
quit.
button.
Oh, there we go. Bye.
See ya. And he's off. He's off. Oh, yeah. Let's see what here happened. I guess we're good. All right. So. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, it's good to have Jean on, folks, because, like I said, he's a good guy, down to earth. You know, and it's good to hear a different perspective in another country as opposed to just in mine. And sometimes, you know, you guys are talking about the UK and everything else, and we get to learn as a collective about, it doesn't have to be about the virus. It could be about space programs. It could be just about anything, right? And I hate to dabble in some of that stuff because, yeah, you could say the wrong words, right? And right off the bat, blackballed, right? So we don't like to do that if we, you know, we don't have to. But you still want to be able to, you know, get in there and talk about different topics. It's not so much that. But, yeah, you know, like I said, I've got more people asking me and telling me about they've got, you know, UFO videos and stuff like that. So we're going to be checking those out. I'm going to go on some more Mars stuff and just different stuff. And if you guys have different ideas about where to go with the channel, drop them too. I want to hear what you guys got to say. Continue on just Mars and Moon, or, you know, I know some of you people had talked about going maybe to other planets. Problem with it is not a whole lot like, you know, like Pluto. Yeah, there's a few here and there, but nothing major, and I've done some videos on that. And then there's other moons, and they don't have a whole lot of anything to go on, whereas we have, like, you know, X amount of photos from, now we've got the InSight lander, we've got, you know, obviously still got Curiosity, we got Perseverance, we got Ingenuity helicopter, we have all that. So we have quite a bit we can talk about, but it's good to hear and get your input as well. Let me see if I can just slide this over just a wee bit. Why does that look like it's off? Ah, there it'd be. Oh, I didn't have that centered to begin with. Hate it when that happens. But anyway, so yeah. Lee Herring, you said Chandler's good the way it is. Well, I mean, you know, I don't mind having a little bit more variety, so I want to, you know, make it a little bit better for you folks. And because I think if you don't change it up a bit, you become stagnant, right? So that's why I'm trying to, you know, incorporate a couple UFO videos here and there and do the normal Mars, Moon, stuff like that. So, like I said, any ideas is I'm always welcome to it, or open to it, I should say. And I apologize again for not saying hello to everybody, because I usually take a roll call and see what everybody's doing. John Schaub, you said, great. Chris, great show. Six says, speaking of bye-bye, I got to go, gang. Was great as always. I see you all. All right, Six, glad you were in there, man. I did see you in there commenting and jumping in there, and so I appreciate you being here, as always. And, folks, if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do so before you do leave. It is greatly appreciated. Now, if I remember seeing this earlier, you call yourself Idiot Boy now, but that's not who you are. Who are you originally? But you said Di Antwood is from South Africa. I didn't know that. Interesting. Learn something new every day. Robert Morgan says, great channel. I appreciate it there, Robert. It's always good to have you in there anyway. MG Joe says he needs to crash. Yeah, I mean, it's been, I don't know about you folks. I mean, I know a lot of you people probably work hard at work and whatever, and then sometimes you just feel trashed, you know. Of course, having a little bit of a cold doesn't help either. But, you know, it is what it is. We'll fight it like anything else, right? Jean War says, I'll see you all in the next video pretty soon. Michael Lovelet, you said, I'm sorry, Michelle. I'm sorry, my bad. I just read that real quick. They censoring more and more as we speak, increasing censoring. Please continue with lots of Mars moon, UFO, and beyond. Well done, sir. P.S. I got a secret. Ooh. What's the secret? Don't tell anybody else. Neil Everett, you said, how big is Comet 67P to have a multiple of hundreds of structures in one photo, or where did it go? Or hundreds of structures in one photo, or are the others so much smaller than us they build smaller? Seems it's a comet. Well, it's supposed to be, I think, 2.7 miles in length and about a little over 2 miles, wide. So it's kind of that weird shape, but yeah. It's good size. And like I said in that video when I did the 67P, I said, if you look at a city block, like in New York or any big city, how many structures can you put in 2 miles? Quite a bit. So we don't know if 67P is actually, you know, are they inside this thing as well? And not just on the outside. We don't have any idea. This might have been something that was millions of years old, and they just decided to make this thing into, you know, like I said, I think I even speculated big time when I said, is it possible that these beings, kind of like we're seeing on Mars every now and then, looks like something small, structure, whatever, is it that they're very small and that's a planet to them? I don't know. Is it like a planetoid / spacecraft? Again, getting totally sci-fi in you and highly speculative, but it's just weird when you see these things and they're trying to hide anything they can. But again, if you were these people that were in charge of these space agencies, and you're like, you know, you didn't go, okay, here's an asteroid belt, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to throw a rock or a dot at this photo and say, oh, we'll just go after that rock. No, there had to have been a reason, and that's the one that had that song. The 67P had that weird song, and I said and speculated that it was probably, maybe it's a energy signature, like a power source, that kind of like ticking sound that was coming from it. And again, they sped it up and made it more audible for the human ear. Now, if you think about it, it's kind of like a transformer in a stereo receiver. A lot of them are quiet, but you put your head right up to them, you can hear. But they actually have a frequency. They actually have they have a resonance. So is it possible that's what attracted them to this rock? And this is the reason why they went after it. And I think that's why they did. Justy, you said, I am. I really want to sleep until next week. Oh, thank you. A Mars Anomaly. All right, Justy, good to have you in there, brother. You have yourself a good weekend. Be safe there, right? My throat is dry and it's starting to get scratchy. I hate that. Start talking like that. It's your wolf man. But, so, yeah. Republican Space Rangers. Sweet. James Cragen, you said, Chris, the NASA Clementine missions years ago snapped many images like the ones we are looking at with Jean earlier. And they're in the NASA archives for all to see. It's crazy the similarities with both. How many times have we seen, like you talked about the megalithic blocks in Baalbek, and what you're seeing, what he's finding in these photos, and you can see these crazy looking things, these monolithic blocks. Is it just, they just happen to be just random rocks? They're not rocks. Clearly these things look like they've been cut out. And it looks like, you know, these things, something exploded there, and it might have just, over the course of time, most of it got buried by sand. Who knows? I hate it when that happens. But, so, I don't know. We see a lot of similarities, like, you know, we got the when we look at the Giza Plateau, and then we get the face of Cydonia, get the Cydonia region, there's a lot of similarities. Yep, 67p song. Look it up. Well, I played that more than once. I think you were here, Noodles. I played it more than once. In fact, I think I played it on the last Hangout. Yep, rockified. John, you asked Chris, could you be a radio... What? I'm not sure I'm reading that right, Chris. You could be a radio do on space stations. Summon base alpha. Oh, okay. Just get on there. Moon base alpha. Like I said, folks, I mean, I don't know. The more I learn every day about what we're seeing in these photos, I believe there's life everywhere, and our space agencies are now getting privy to it a lot faster and a lot more. In other words, they knew about the moon. They knew about Mars way back in the day, back in the 30s and 40s. And now they're learning to, we got to get out more. We got to get out more. We just got to send probes here. Go to Titan. Send, a robot there or a submarine or a drone. Or now they just want to get out left and right. You know why? And I believe because they know there's something on almost every planet in our solar system or moon. And this is the reason why they're going and they're doing this more and more. Yeah, Neil, you said, need to listen to the new 67p rock tune. Yeah, it was remastered. Check it out. Oh. Idiot Boy says 432 is the universal frequency. Sky Blue, I agree with you. He said on those bright orbs, sometimes it's hard to tell if they're not drones with lights. And that's the only problem I have with too. You guys know as well as I do that you don't, because it could be out of focus, that it turns into just a blob, right? So it's hard to determine that. But I like the photos anyway, or the videos rather. Some of the photos. Some people will send you just photos. Excuse me. And I like that. The one that Michael sent, where he actually said it looked like the light went off, and you could see, probably from the moonlight itself, you could still see it. So I don't know how far this thing was up. I don't think he stated how far the thing was up in the air. So some of you guys said it might have been like a Chinese lantern. It could have been, it was UFOs or something like that. Either way, it would probably work. Because if they're just kind of like just drifting around and then popping out of existence, like just popping out, or they are actually Chinese lanterns, right? And they just go up so far and they get put out, and that's why you still can see it in the moonlight. So it's a very good possibility. Either one of them is equally, could be equally true, right? Miss Heard, you said it's time for me to, I guess you put, it's supposed to be to go, but you put tutu. It's time for her to do a tutu. All right, take care, Chris and all. All right, Miss Heard, thank you for being here, and thank you for your support as always. Much appreciated. And you have a good weekend and be safe there, right? James Cragen, you said, Chris, spot on, because we know they'll never stop going up. It's now a case of going further out. Exactly. Again, it's kind of like if you were them yourself and you learned something on the moon, let's say just starting with the moon, and you found something there, again, I said this before in my videos, that is not ours. What other place might have this? Ooh, what's the next planet next to us? Ooh, how about that one? Or either side, right? Let's go to one that would probably be in the Goldilocks zone. Let's go to Mars. Chances are there'll be life there. But they don't know if there would have been life there on the other side, closer to the sun. But you know what I'm saying? They're just kind of like, okay, so they go there, they find something. And as soon as that Viking landed, they probably found some things on there. And I brought some of that stuff out when they had the Sojourner rover there. It looked like something we see here on Earth. It looked like weird cars or buses on some weird things, like off in the background. Now, whether they are or not is, I'm just saying it's a similarity to what we see here on Earth. And that's what it looked like. And you can see what looks like structural beams still standing up in the background, like there used to be structures there. And then we had one that looked like structures all along there, which some people said, well, that's probably, compression artifacts and whatever. And I don't really care about that, to be truthful, on the back. What I cared about was right there in that photo, close to, well, it wasn't immediately close to the Sojourner rover, but it was off in the distance, right? So I found that interesting. That was a good video. Yeah, Miss Ann, he's like, go. What's going on there, Jonathan Waddell? Good to see you there. Renee Von Oosterhood, good to see you there. He said, hello, everyone. Have been there since the beginning, though. Lots of love from here, okay, people? Oh, yeah. Much love to you. Yeah, we can do that. Radio DJ on Moonbase Alpha. Oh, yeah. Ground control to Major Tom. Oh, yeah. Cameron, what's going on? You said, have a good Friday, Chris, and a good weekend. Friday night and a good weekend, Chris, you put. All right, Cameron, good to see you in there. And you do the same. I think you're taking off. So have yourself a good evening, good weekend, too. Be safe. Last week, you said, I've heard the old telegraph frequency can be used to hear things. Any thoughts? Telegraph was basically voltage, man. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, voltage gives off frequency. So that's a touchy question. Now, of course, this is kind of different, but I used to mess around with amplifiers and stuff like that. And I remember years ago, it freaked me out because I had this old speaker that had remember the old video reels? It was on the back and it would roll up inside this thing. It looked like a briefcase. It was that old. It was like a big 12, 15-inch speaker. And this thing was probably from the 60s, right? I stuck it outside my door, closed my bedroom door, and then I put this amplifier on and I put headphones on, and I swear to God I could hear somebody walking closer and closer to the bedroom. And I'm like, there's nobody in the house right now. And there was nobody home. I was like, I'm good. So I think I was like 12 years old messing around with this stuff. But strangely enough, my grandfather had passed on not long ago, not long before that. So was it something all in my mind, probably playing games with me, or was it something I was hearing that might have been connected? But yeah, that was kind of freaky. Neil Everett, you said, imagine if the world's elite actually told us the truth. You got that right. Laugh. Yeah, bud. No, I didn't hear that, idiot boy. You said, Chris, did you hear they are putting government cameras in all cars, new cars? Really? I never heard of that. Arts and Crafts, what's going on? He said, I love listening to your stories, Chris. Yep. R.I.P. David Bowie. It's getting Elysium. Let's see. Oliver Klein, you said most planets are inhabitable. We are the only idiots of some planets living on the surface outside. Yeah, we don't even know. I mean, right? He said planets are habitat, I think you meant to say. Well, that's what I think he said. And I just glanced over quickly. That's probably why I didn't read it right. But, yeah, I mean, we don't know. Like I said, we automatically assume that we live on the surface of a planet. Every other being out there should do the same. And I've said this before. Just because, well, even if you live, let's back up. Even if you were an alien species, that doesn't mean you can't live on the, a surface of a planet or even a moon and just be domed. So that you got your own, biodome, so to speak. And it doesn't matter what the gases or non-gases are on the planet. As long as you got your own atmospherics, you're golden. Doesn't matter what it's doing outside. So I think, in a way, that's really cool, and that it's a very good possibility that that's what's going on in this in our solar system and probably way out there. And like I said, I think we're just really, really new kids on the block. And if there's aliens coming here, they're looking at us going, oh, look how cute. They're just starting to learn how to walk, and they're starting to fly out a little bit. Look at the cute little crafts. You know, they're just, that's sad. You know, remember that when we were like that millions of years ago? Oh, man, these poor people. Wait until they see all the problems they're going to run into. I mean, like I said, if you're a civilization that's millions of years old, you live way out there towards the outskirts or the beginning of the universe, not closer to us. So you can bet that they're millions of years old and multi-millions. And I don't think we truly know the beginning of this universe. We can hypothesize, but that doesn't mean we have all the answers. By what science knows of today, that's the best hypothesis and the best theory, right? Noodles, you say. Chris is a new age interplanetary shock rock radio DJ, like Good Morning UFOs, as opposed to Vietnam. Movie Good Morning Vietnam. Yep. Oh yeah, Jimmy Church is on the same page. Oh yeah. What's going on there, Martin Wolfright? Good to see you in there. X15. I don't know if I acknowledged you earlier. I'm sorry if I did not. There's a lot of people having. Coors is in there. Snaggletooth is in there. Oliver Klein, I think I said a couple of your, read one or two of your comments. Mick Gust is in there. What's going on, Mick? Oh, yeah. It's a Space 1999, a classic I grew up with. Absolutely loved it, too. Like I said, the other one wasn't really, I don't know how many of you guys remember Arc 2. Arc 2 was pretty cool. Although it wasn't spacey, it was still like this futuristic RV they drove around in after this, the after-apocalyptic times where they were trying to help people out that were sick and everything else. And it was actually a good show, but it was, you watch it now, it's kind of cheesy now, but back then it was pretty cool, right? Renee Von Ooster says, come on, people, thumbs up the best channel. And Mr. Ward, Chris, respect. I appreciate it, Renee. Yeah, hit that thumbs up, folks. Hit that thumbs up. King Bogart says, hi, Chris. What's going on, King Bogart? Phil Cox said, videos are showing subscribers fine, but only say what they are at the end of the video. So we are looking at them with no preconception as what it is. Call it, do you see the same as me? Yeah, we can do that. Because, yeah, a lot of times you hear me, I'll set it up, but that's pretty much it. Now, we'll give a little bit of insight, but I try not to go too much into it if I can help it, because I'd rather have you guys get your input at the end. Now, either way, you guys are still going to have your input, right? It's not like you follow along and say, oh, yeah, whatever Chris says is gospel. No, I don't expect that. So that's good on your part, and so it's cool in that aspect. You know, you guys get to voice your opinions regardless, which I love. Let me see if this other video is in here, too. This guy, well, this one here is just a very short and TR-3B anti-gravity spacecraft. And this one's kind of... I was going to go forward here because these things actually break apart. Watch this. That one goes off to the right. Watch this. Let me get my face out of the way. Back it up a little bit. let's see. That one there. Somebody asked, yeah, I'm not sure why you, Sky Blue, I seen your comment, then it was like retracted when I went to go read it. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Let's see. Corsia says, it seems like it's anti-gravity in the middle. Said those two craft, they meet in the air. Mervyn Gravel, he said, hey, Chris, great show. Any more coming up on Antarctica? There is actually more coming up. There's a delay, you guys know that, where Julia has been trying to get this wrapped up, but she ran into new information that might actually be more connected to somewhere else on Earth with Antarctica. So more and more information. The second she goes to release it, something else comes up. So plus, not to mention, she's been really busy. She just had something happen not long ago. But nothing she can't handle, but it's just the idea. She's been booked and trying to do things and juggle a lot of stuff that she's doing. So I said, well, just be patient. I said, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I'd love to have it come out yesterday. But the thing is, you know, I don't mind waiting. I really don't. But she showed me a couple of photos of what she had found. This probably went back a month or two ago. Because, like I said, she was trying to get it done and then had to push it back a little bit. And then she just got this new information. So now I was like, oh, my God. So she said, I hope you don't mind. I said, I don't. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I mean, the second it breaks, you guys are going to know about it first. That's for sure. Guarantee it. Yeah, Steve Garnham, I agree with you. He said, don't these people have autofocus on these cameras? Always blurry. Yeah, it's always, well, don't get me wrong. If you do a deep zoom, then you know it's going to break apart, especially a digital camera. Have that weird blocky kind of thing going on. It won't look right at all. And that usually pretty much sucks. See right here, Pentagon says video released of pyramid-shaped UFO is authentic. Ooh.
Christine, yeah, so this filmmaker, he just released this video that was taken by the U.S. Navy. He says that this is the best UFO video that has ever been released to the public.
And I believe this is Jeremy Corbell.
But there are a lot more questions than there are answers.
Who are they? Where are they from? And what is their intent?
All questions that immediately come to mind with the mention of UFOs.
We are now at a tipping point. It is time to let the public know what is known, no matter how big or small, what is known about the UFO presence on planet Earth.
LA-based investigative filmmaker Jeremy Corbell recently released this video taken by the Navy, showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019.
UFOs are real. They're flying with impunity within our restricted airspace. They represent an advanced and sophisticated technology. And it's a technology that requires scientific scrutiny and study.
The Pentagon has since confirmed that the video is authentic. It's part of a recent data dump by Corbell and investigative reporter George Knapp. These pictures were taken by a pilot in March of 2019, apparently showing 3 different UFOs. 2 have since been dubbed the metallic blimp and the sphere. Corbell says these images from a Navy ship show a UFO seamlessly traveling through air and water.
The astonishing thing about it was its transmedium characteristic, meaning it was able to breach or penetrate the air-to-sea barrier without destruction. We don't have vehicles that can do that at high velocity, where it can go from flying to, into the water.
The goal is to expand the conversation about UFOs and demand transparency from the American government.
I don't know what it is we're seeing, but what I do know is that we should find out. And this is the role that the Department of Defense needs to play. The script has flipped, and people are now taking this seriously and eliminating the unnecessary ridicule that has stigmatized the UFO topic.
And, you know, we may get some answers very soon. The U.S. government actually set to release a report just on UFOs this upcoming June. Some people believe that it's going to show there have been a lot more sightings than have been made public in the past. Reporting live in El Segundo, Chelsea Edwards. Alex, Christine, back to you.
Chelsea.
Yeah, I find it really interesting. You know, like I said, I'm 50-50 on as far as what Jeremy says, because I understand the airspace thing, but what if this turns out to be the United States craft? Then what? So I find it hard to believe, even if it's not ours, that they couldn't find whose it is. With all the technology we have out there, we can't figure out where it's coming from. You can literally, like I said, we have the technology to look at you laying on a lounge chair in your backyard, reading a book, and they can tell you what you're reading. But yet, God, we just can't see where these things are coming from. You know they're taking satellite views of these giant swaths of area right down to a small little area, and yet they've never seen these traversing above the Earth? Come on. You have to be able to see these. You know they're looking at these things, and it's been going on for years. It isn't nothing, because it's starting from like Jean was saying earlier. They're like negating anything was like 2004 and before. No, you don't get this go, oh, we're just going to pick a time date, 2004 until now. This has been going on for a long time. They had the technology to look on the ground for, you know, how many years? So you're not going to tell me they haven't seen these things with the cameras on the ISS, which we know. How many times did they, got to change a camera view because there's something flying in the camera lens of the ISS. You can't tell me these satellites that are looking down at Earth cannot see these things traversing over the air. And you know they could probably just zoom right into that and track that, whatever it is. Okay, that's an F-16, F-17. Okay, this is this. They can identify these spacecraft with ease, and yet they've never seen a UFO up till this point. Come on. Come on. I don't believe this for a moment. Yeah, 80 boy, you said that it is one of our boys. Why the flashing FAA flashing lights? Exactly. And they always seem to be night vision, infrared. It's never a clear photo. Now, don't get me wrong. If something's off in the distance, you definitely have to zoom. I mean, common sense, right? But I always find it interesting that it's always trash. It's always in a different filter. It's always in a different spectrum. It's unclear. They shot it with a, like a piece of trash camera. Come on. Noodles, you said, mimic flashing by friendly interstellar pyramids is either possible or it is not. I agree. And like I said, I don't, even being night vision, okay, could you have not cleared that up? And you're telling me this is probably on, I'm assuming it was on the ship. You know they got binoculars and way to record, through these binoculars. You know how, like, they got them on the deck? So you can't tell me that they can't, like, zoom into these digitally and, like, super zoom, because obviously they got to see another warship from way out there. They must have, like, serious zoom on these things, and yet they can't quite get a clear photo. Come on, man. Come on. Now, I'm not saying all of this is fake. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying with the technology we have, I find it hard to believe we can't get a clearer photo, and especially off the deck of a ship. And like I said, if they're using the camera or the binoculars that are probably digital high tech, they can see like ungodly distance. They can't quite get a clear photo of that, even at night vision. Come on. CCM, my Harley. I was just talking about that, the Antarctica. Any more news? Like I said, Julia's actually, she got set back a little bit because she's doing her own work on the side, and she was trying to push this out, and then come to find out, she found out more information that's actually linked to another ancient site here on Earth, and she believes there's a connection, and she has the proof to show that. So she wants to bring that out as well. So now she's like, okay, now I got to regather this stuff, and whatever she already wrote, now she's got to rewrite and put it in different perspective, or, rewrite the thing basically, right? Well, at least that section. So, like I said, the first time I hear anything from it, you guys will get it. That's for sure. Peter Ferrero, what's going on? He said, Amy. Ah, yeah. Max K, he said, no, it's not. What are we talking about? He said, no, it's not. Yeah, 80 Boy, you said some UFOs are ET, but most are man-made, I believe. I think it's a combination of both, and this may be where we got our technology from, right? Maybe a couple of these crashed, we shot them down, whatever the reason, you know. Think about this: we have technology, basically radioactive, or not radioactive, but radio, basically like, what's the word I want to use? The heck did I call them? It's like frequency cannons, right? Oh, microwave cannons on the backs of these Humvees. Now, I said this before a while back, where they actually had 3 or 4 guys standing there, and they literally had them like direct path. They were like 100 yards away. They said, we're just going to flick it on for a millisecond and turn it back off. The second they hit that thing and turned it back off, they were like, oh, they were all holding their torso like they were literally getting cooked from inside. So, and this thing was like 50,000 watts. Of course, they probably turned it down so they wouldn't instantly barbecue them. But they say it does not hurt you. It doesn't burn you from inside. It just burns the water under your skin. To me, that's burning you from inside. But I could be wrong. How do you like your human? Extra crispy? So, now I want you to envision something like that on a plane, but like maybe 1,000,000 watts. You know, and if they shot this towards a UFO or a UAP, call it what you will, would that not be enough to cripple it and send it crashing to the planet, right to the ground? Who knows? Yes, basically microwave weapons, right. Yeah, Pete Ferrer, yeah, you're right. 33 nations on Antarctica and not a word on findings. Well, like I said, just some of the things we've seen there, this looks like there's structures everywhere. So, again, it's kind of like the moon and kind of like Mars. It's like, everybody hush, don't say a word to nobody. We just got this elite people just come in here, just basically rape anything in here, get the technology and take off. And if it's anything like the moon, they say nobody can own the moon and nobody can own Mars or any planet. So if it's open season on Antarctica, they're like, oh, they just claim their spot. I'm taking this. Okay, I'm taking that. And it's like a treaty. You can't go into other people's areas. And they're just taking this information for themselves. This technology, whatever it may be, right? Jonathan Wendell, you said, I witnessed 3 weapons at White Sands. Was that one of them? That basically, it's like microwave cannon, I called it, but that may not be the actual nomenclature for that weapon. King Bogart, you said the triangles are Navy. It wouldn't surprise me in the least bit. Richard Bunton, you said, no, what I find it's silly how the rover on Mars is remote control from Earth, which would take 6 months to get there, but a signal can be resolved back within 8 seconds from Mars. I can't see how. Well, keep in mind the rovers are autonomous, right? It gives information back. So in other words, it can take, the way they're talking about, it's anywhere between 5 and 20 minutes supposed to get a signal back. But we know that's BS. From what I read, it's basically they got quantum communication, so it's within seconds. And what's really weird is that, well, not really weird, but what it does is, like I said, it's autonomous, so it drives by itself and knows what to do. Now, they may stop it and go, okay, here's a command. All right, go over to that bunch of rocks, because it already knows what it's seeing. It stops, takes a look around. Okay, go to the right, and check out that. So it'll just back up and go, and then, of course, it does its own thing. It already knows what to do, check out the rock and everything else. It's pretty sophisticated. It's not what you think. It's not like it's like, ooh, look at a little remote control car. This thing, you could literally not communicate with it for a long time, and it would still rove and do its own thing. It'll just navigate around rocks. It'll stop and drill here and there. Now, they will tell it to actually command and say, stop there, drill this area. they will do that. But it moves so slow, then it stops. They probably get pitches back, and then it says, and then they go, okay, drill that particular rock. It'll back up, get the arm, the tool head out, and of course it'll drill, take a sample, whatever it's going to do, and there you go. So it's, it's not like it's going to be like right there at that second, right? So it's pretty technologically advanced, that's for sure. Max K said it's not just us. I mean, just look at our governments. We're dumb-ass humans. Got to be someone highly intelligent behind it all. I totally agree. That's what I'm saying. It's like this pyramid kind of owners of this planet, right? You got, us down to the grunts, but it goes up, and then it goes to government, the president, and higher and higher and higher, and the DOD, and of course, there's like a pyramidal thing where there's got to be somebody in charge, or at least a handful of nitwits that are running this planet. And they pretty much what they say goes. So, but they have these powers to take the money and do whatever the heck they want, and they're looking into the stuff. They're probably, who knows if they're not living off-world already. They're not on the moon, living in bases, and maybe they fly back and forth. These ultra-rich people just go over there, just chill there, take a flight over to Mars. Who the heck knows? But because these people are like filthy rich, right? So they can pretty much do anything they want. Noodles, pizza pockets. They're good, but man, the salt content is nasty. It can kill a bull moose. Yeah, Pete, Pete Ferreira said, Las Vegas may be headed for another shutdown because of the Delta. Yeah, it's going to happen. They're saying just about we read it today, it was like every state had it, but Ohio, was it Virginia? It's like, here we go again. Yeah, I know, Les. Said, Chris, take a drink of water. Yeah, I mean, I got the fan running, and of course it dries up my throat too, which doesn't help. Liam Stewart Brown, hey Chris, just got here. More good topics. Good to see you there, man. Ken K said, religion is a prison for free thought. Unknown. Whatever happened to these accurate sayings? True, right? That's what they try to do. They try to imprison us, whether it's physically or mentally, right? And if you think outside the box, then you're a conspiracy theorist, you're an idiot, something's wrong with you, so on and so forth. And you know what? Call me, label me what you like, but I'm not going to stop thinking for myself, and I'm sure in heck I'm going to go against the grain if I believe it's against the people. I don't believe that people should be going, oh yeah, just fall. I'm just going to fall right in here, right in line. Not if it's not going to benefit you in any way, shape, or form, right? Mike L., you said, I think they're called beam weapons. I think you're right. Oliver Klein, you said all these ships making fields make electronic malfunctions. Cars go out, cell phones flicker or go black. Noodles, I like that. Microwave cannons, no problem. Wear burritos and pizza pockets like body armor. And you just go, oh, okay, I'm done. Just eat one of these. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for heating that up for me. Chris, yeah, you said, James, you said, Chris, NORAD can see someone flying a kite from for thousands of square miles in the skies over the U.S., and we are to believe they can't make out what is clearly visible to them. And the Navy, yeah, right, man. Well, and that's true. And I've said this. I mean, you get this high technology, and yet, we just can't. We don't know where these things are coming from. I just find it hard to believe. And like I said, if it's such a big deal to these governments, they're going to be searching the skies. They're going to be scanning other countries to see, is it them? Are they the ones doing it? Are they not? Come on. Pete Ferrari said, my son-in-law was forced to take vaccine, supervisor at the post office. I'd be like, I'm out. Yep. CCM by Harley D says, hey, hay fever, allergies, and common cold, but the COVID flu. Yeah, Eddie boy. You said, what's next? Herpes passports? Nah, maybe, AIDS passport, things like that. Of course, you should. He said, shove that magic potion up their rear ends, pretty much. Yeah. What's going on there, Bobby Petlin? Good to see you in there. He said, Chris, almost missed out on the show again. How about thorium, molten salt rescuers? The U.S. was using this during the Kennedy administration. No rods, no uranium. Yeah, imagine that, right? Yeah. That's weird. I just read that, Bobby, and it went retracted. It literally just disappeared. Imagine that. Is that my voice? Let's see. Michael Stark, he said, percentage test turned out to be 99% false positive, can't tell difference from COVID or flu. So 99% of the cases since 2020 were all fake news. There is no test for any variant, so there is no variance. Well, yeah, they'll just label it something else. What it comes down to is this. We get a flu running rampant, but wait a minute, the people are not quite taking the test. Well, they're not getting their vaccines. Why don't we do this? Why don't we call it something else? And by the way, it's really transmissible. So, oh my God, you could die from this one too. It could be really horrendous, which is proven not to be true. And they even said it on the local news here. Oh yeah, it seems like more and more people are picking up and trying to get it because they're in fear. Exactly. In fear. Adam, what's going on? He said, morning all. Sorry late to the party. Happy Saturday. Here. Idiot boy, yeah, great question. He said, if the CDC can't differentiate between the COVID virus and influenza, how can they tell what the Delta variant is? Wait a minute, do you have a fever? You got a cold, scratchy throat, sneezing, coughing? Yeah, it's got to be COVID. That's it. Come on. I've had colds worse than this. Now, don't get me wrong. As far as the flu part, yeah, maybe not so much. But I've always had, if it's super bad, I'll have like a little bit of high temperature, but it's nothing major. So it's like, why do they insist on calling it something, they're trying to say, oh, everything's this. And again, it's all about fear-mongering. And again, I don't take nothing away from the actual virus because it is out there, right? And it's absolutely true. We've known family that was affected. My sister was affected by it. And we know other people. In fact, there's a girl that my wife knows. Her husband died from it. At least they say he did. He probably really got in a motorcycle accident and killed himself. But yeah, it was COVID. But anyway, regardless, there are people who are legit died from it. So were they already compromised? And this just weakened them further. And of course, they had, just a heart gave out or whatever, and that's what it comes down to, right? No, Sigma variant is like being tickled to death. Pete Ferrero, he said Bezos tried a $2 million bribe to NASA to use his moon rocket. Doesn't he know NASA's military? Yes. Well, even if they're not military, they're still being run by the military, right? They're basically puppets for the DOD. This is not, secret. James Cragen, you said, Chris, it's amazing how they are able to tell us all about new variants that are coming. Jesus, how can they know that? It's all fair controlling propaganda, man, big time. Well, again, I think people should be, notified and let them know what's going on. But at the same time, don't make it sound so horrific that, people are like, oh my God, they're panicking. What is the point of it? It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. Michael Stark, he said, all these basic questions are common sense. The globalist narrative breaks down as soon as a question like these are asked. Be smart, folks. Don't fall for the bullshit or BS. No jabs, no mask. No more bullcrap. I mean, yeah, that's what it comes down to. Bobby, you said they wanted an aircraft. They would fly to Moscow without refueling to drop a bomb. Thorium molten assault reactors, nuclear fuel. That's what it comes down to, right? I mean, there's all alternate fuels, right? And believe me, anything they thought of, whether it's technology, propulsion, fuels, they thought of it. One way or the other. Like even that guy, the simple thing where the guy actually made a car that ran on water. You just put a couple of tablets in the gas tank and off it drove. Well, he disappeared and so did his car and his plans. Funny that. So, it's nothing new. Adam, he said, Chris, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I am scared crapless on how they rushed the vaccine. It'll take at least 2 years and more to get it right. Does that concern anyone? Well, the fact that, here's the thing. This is the only thing that bothers me. Okay? One, it's not FDA approved like they claimed it was to begin with, and it's not. Two, there was really no testing done prior to this, although now they're saying there was. And then they try to play it off like, oh, it was bats and the Wuhan bull. They showed a video where it showed bats in there. That could have been taken from any building. And this wasn't brought up in the very beginning, so then all of a sudden, well, let's just throw bats in there. Yeah, they just happen to have bats in there. Whatever. It's like, oh, it's Guado. Whatever. It's funny, like I said, they never mention that. You'd think these people are chemists and everything else. You would think they know right off the bat what was caused by it. And this is a bioweapon. It was nothing more. Just a way the planet can make a lot of money. A lot of people could die from it. Cut down the population. And like I said, that's not just cutting down one person. You cut down a woman in her prime, you just wiped out how many generations? So it's not just one person you cut down. You cut down her retirement, then her children, and they'll never be out. They'll never come to be. So they'll never live and take up resources. They'll never have to pay anything as far as any kind of retirement, so on and so forth. So you didn't just wipe out one person. You wiped out decades of generations of a family. You like that autograph? Right at the bat. I see what you did there. Let's see. Bubby Blindy says, man, you are on fire today. Extraordinary show. My humble thanks. Much love from far away New Zealand. I appreciate it there, Bubby. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like yourselves. You guys can get on a regular conversation, and then you can get fired up, especially if you are, you're passionate about whatever you're talking about, right? So, I just don't like all the hype built up. I don't care that people get informed. Be informed correctly. I don't care that people are being informed, but don't scare them. There's a difference. People are more likely to run away from it before they are going to go with it. But they're just thinking, well, if I'm going to be forced to, and I can't go to the restaurants now, oh my God, what am I to do? I'll just get the jab. No, you should get it because if they claim that it'll work and you cannot get it again, but they don't claim that, like I said, if I have it, I'm going to build up antibodies to it, right? Then what's going to happen is they say, well, anybody who's unvaccinated gets it, your antibodies might last 6 weeks. 6 months. And that's not true either, because they said other flus in the past and stuff like that. People have antibodies from 5 years ago, whatever. So anyway, even if it's not true, let's just say it's not. And you have 6-month antibiotics that last pretty much antibodies in your body. Okay. But now they're saying if you are vaxxed, you might need a 6-month booster. How is that any better than just having your own immune system do it? Well, they say if you get the vax, you're most likely not to be able to go to the hospital. Well, if you're strong to begin with, you're not going to go to the hospital. You're going to have a really bad cold. You're going to get over it. Things are going to return to normal. I'm a little confused. Guys, help me out here. Right. Terry Kelling, right? He said, you don't know if you're getting a vaccine or a placebo. Right. I mean, you have no idea. You just think, oh, wow, this is great. It's working. What was that video, too? They showed, like, somebody had you can see the needle going into their arm, and the thing was already depressed, and they made it look like they were like, oh, pressing it again, and it wasn't even actual anything in it. I don't know if you guys have seen that. That was crazy. Bobby Pentland, thank you very much for your support, sir. As always, much appreciated. You said they couldn't test these bios in the U.S. It was illegal, so they paid the Chinese. Yep. I mean, pretty much spot on. And you know what? Again, this is the way they sat around. I can almost guarantee it. These elite scumbags. How can we cut down the population, especially China, right? Like, how many people are in China? How can we cut down? And again, our governments don't have to pay out to these people who are now dead. So we don't have to do that. We can wipe out generations upon generations. And like I said, we can cut down the population and we can make money in the process. It's a win-win-win for them all the way around. Not for us so much, but for them. How is that fair? But that's the way they look at it. So, and here's the funny thing. I've said this before. People go, oh, you don't understand, the masks work. Really? Because I know China, because of their smog and their pollution in the air, they wear a mask year-round. And yet, they got it. Listen, it's like I tell people at work, if you can breathe through it, through the holes next to the side of your nose, even if you crimp it, or it's going in through the sides, you're breathing the air, man. And it's not going to stop it from, if you can suction it onto your face, that's one thing. But if you can't, bull. I don't believe that for a minute. I just don't believe it. Yeah, of course, you got to tell it like it is, right? Again, Bobby, thank you. Oliver Klein, you said Germany, also people demonstrated and died of action against them. Yeah, you know why? They don't want the truth out. Idiot Boy said natural antibodies, COVID. And they even said that your natural immune system, when it builds up antibodies, is better than the vaccine. Tell me again why everybody needs it. Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at X15. Your question was, why would China kill off its American cash cow? Well, if everybody's in on it, in other words, China's making their money through their health care. In other words, every time you get a shot, they might charge you $300. America does the same thing. Everybody stands to make money. And again, your population drops. And once you kill one person, if they're a young person, they're not going to go out and get somebody pregnant, or they're not going to get pregnant, therefore killing off generations of people. So it's a win-win for that country. And everybody can get a piece of that. And that's what it's all about. So I get what you're saying, but if they're all doing it individually in their own countries, yeah, I mean, they stand to benefit, not us. New chaotic order says Pfizer is making $16 billion annually. What was the other one? Not Pfizer, Moderna. Moderna never made a viral medicine or anything ever. Suddenly they just come along, new kids on the block. Oh, by the way, we're making medications. Pfizer, on the other hand, has been around for a while, right? But it doesn't matter. Johnson & Johnson. They made stuff, baby powder, that would basically give a woman cancer. But yeah, I want to go out and get their shot. What are people thinking? Now, again, I'm just speaking from my mind. I'm just speaking from my personal opinion. I'm not saying you guys have to agree with me. Again, if you believe you should get the shot, you should get it. I'm not here to tell you not to, because it is serious and it's nothing to play games with. I'm just saying that some people have gotten the thing. Literally, they gotten the vaccine. 2 weeks later, they get the virus and die. What happened? Now, I know it says it takes up to 2 weeks for it to kick in, so it's a possibility, right? So what does it do? Take over your cells? Think about it. It takes that long to do this? I think I'm good. I like that one. Alpha Space Alien Cat Eater. We don't need the effing vaccine. It's made to kill people over time. Well, again, it's going to be your immune system's now going to be dependent on a shot. In other words, it's not going to be able to fight off the common cold anymore. So now you're going to need a vaccine for that. You're going to need a yearly flu shot. You're going to need all kinds of crap now. Why do you need that when you have your own immune system? I'm still confused. And everything I've read on, they're saying whether you're vaxxed or unvaxxed, you can still get this thing. You can still get the new strain. Now they claim you could, how do they put it? I want to say exactly how they put it because I don't want to mess this up. The way they were talking was, again, you could have vaxxed or unvaxxed, doesn't matter. But I'm going, okay, so if I can catch it and the vax people can catch it, what is the idea of this whole thing? And they said, well, you won't get it as bad because you do have that. Wait a minute. So if I have a strong immunity compared to you guys, okay, and I get it, wouldn't that vary? Because the way you catch it and the way I catch it, wouldn't that not vary? So how do they know statistically about all that? How do they know that? Well, you won't get it as bad if you have this. How do you know that? I mean, again, if with somebody in your family and you just happen to have a stronger immune system, they might get it a lot worse than you. So how do they know this? It's just questions people should be asking. I'm not saying it's all BS. I'm just saying, but there's a lot of contradictions in this stuff, and I don't think people should be just giving into it that easy. Adam, yes, I did. You said, did anyone see Elon Musk ship being put together last night? Now it's a big craft. Just hope it doesn't blow up. Yeah, it was like I was watching a video on his today, and there was a guy actually walking around with him, and he was talking about the spaceship that he's making. And I think just one of the thrusters, I think it was one of the thrusters, reusable rockets. That was, I think he was saying it was like a little under 200 tons. So, but combined, I think it was like everything put together, meaning the rockets, the main body, everything inside, batteries, so on and so forth, that it would be like a little over 200 tons. No, it was more than that. It was like, I'm sorry, it was like 200,000 tons, I think, total. At least that's what he grossed it up to. So I'm like, damn. But I don't know. I got high hope for him, man. I think he's, at least he's trying. Where most of the people are, whatever, let's just hope the planet don't blow up. Phil Cox, you said Moderna was originally called Mode RNA, a gene therapy tech company. Oh, and that's what they're saying it is. It's a gene therapy. But when you read more into it, and of course you're going to read more than one page because you don't want to be easily fooled. They say the way it works into your, it goes down to your DNA basically. But they said basically it messes around with your autoimmune system. And if it does that, then, like I said, there's nothing you can't catch, which you could catch on the daily anyway, right? But the thing is, you'll probably need a medication to get rid of it now, as opposed to having an immune system of your own that's strong and robust, and you can literally fight it off. So where's the win for us? I'm curious. Oliver Klein, you said, according to the health industry today, you need 83 vaccinations to be protected. Only question is, what are you after this? Yeah, pretty much. A zombie. Bubby Blindy, he said, who needs graphene oxide in their bodies? No vax for me, no effing way. Bobby, you said, this is a revolution. Our government is being overturned. It's a great reset. I hope it's for the good, though. That's my biggest. I don't care that you try to revamp the country or the planet, but do it in a right way where it works out for everybody, right? And stop trying to kill people off. Now, I'm not saying that's the only reason why this vaccine is there, right? But it just seems like when you read the stuff that's bad about it, I don't care if we just pushed aside everything else. One, it's not FDA approved. Two, it doesn't help whether you have the vaccine or not. You're still going to get it regardless. So where's the win if you're vaccinated? And I'm not putting anybody down who did get vaccinated. I'm just saying, where's the win? If you can still get the regular COVID and then now the new Delta, how is this protecting you again? Yeah. So I'm just curious. I mean, I'm asking the question, right? Coors, you said round 2 of COVID super duper mega outbreak this time. Believe me, they're going full circus mode. Yeah, they're going full retard is what they're doing. Bobby, there you go. Why is Elon Musk going to space? Because he can. Yep. Oh, I forgot to say hello to the 5 thumbs down. What are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Forgot to say that. God, I hate when I do that. Pete Ferrari said Starship, a booster, is over 400 feet high by itself. Yes, it is. It's quite large. Archer Krabs, he said, changes your mRNA. Yeah. New chaotic order said the inflammation in your brain, permanent. Yeah, exactly. Hold on. Alf Space, yeah. Alien Cat Eater. We'll just call you Alf. Be a little quicker. There's something wrong with them pushing a vaccine so hard for a virus that's 99.7 survival rate. That says it in a mouthful right there. There you go. Okay, Jonathan, you said, Chris, don't be naive. What are we talking about? Pete Ferry said, I'm 68 and don't plan on dying of poison injection. Well, I mean, if they were a little bit more transparent and not, oh, wait, this is not approved. This is not this. These companies just now popped up getting a, like I said, Moderna. They never made a vaccine prior to this. A little more transparency to begin with, people wouldn't have had doubts, and I'm sure everybody would have gotten the vaccine. But they always try to push, oh, it's so good for you. Don't worry, it works. How do you know that if people are still getting it? There you go, Bobby. Yeah, the vaccine is to show which of us is compliant. Robert Morgan, he said, they're not changing the world in a good way. We're going to have to dust off the Declaration of Independence and change some words and grievances. Well, I hope that they will fight and keep it the way it originally was. They want to alter it and throw out some amendments, right? They want to throw away some things. No. Okay, Adagordi said they have also patented the changes the mRNA makes to you. So when you change, you're owned. Pretty much. Yeah, that's true, Greg. You said everybody's afraid of the so-called vaccine, yet they eat all the different food additives. That's true. I mean, But at least you can actually look at the ingredients to that, right? Pretty good. I mean, you can get pretty close to reading pretty much all of it. Not all, but, you can. So, you can pretty much read that. Now, remember, what was it, like X amount of years ago, they said, people are going to start, these fast food places are going to have to put how many calories, and, you can literally look up the ingredients to it, blah, 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 so you know what you're putting into your body. Now, whether they're actually doing that, that's a different story. But it's a lot different than a vaccine where you pretty much know nothing about. They just believe us. It's good for you. Sky Blue, you said the bioweapon COVID-19 was all about the election. I'm not sure if that was connected. However, I'm not saying it's not, but it was a grand plan. This has been going on because even I think the first ones were coming out in 2004. I think there was COVID way back then and probably prior to that. But the whole point is it's like they're just mixing up the ingredients, making it more potent, doing whatever. It's more. This is what I don't get. It's more aggressive transmissible. Okay. So if I'm standing next to you and I have COVID-19 and you catch it, okay, now let's flip it. Now the other person has the new strain, the Delta strain. What's the difference? Depending on how hard he coughs, I'm either going to catch it or I'm not. So I'm confused. Now, does it get into your body quicker? I don't know how they can do that, but okay, I'll go with that because I'm not some biologist. But I can't see how it is more. Now, they do say it's more transmissible. However, it's not more deadly. In fact, they said it's a little less deadlier, which is fine. F-15. Have you ever, has anyone here ever known an individual that was vaxxed grow horns soon after? Not last time I checked. Pete Ferrero said Congress has a bill on table to control supplements. They want control over health in every way. Yeah, they don't even want to, approve, FDA approve like certain vitamins and stuff. There's no money for them. Think about it. They would be smart if they actually did approve. Now, I don't know if they don't approve them all, but let's say they approve some and not all. If they did that, they'd make money hand over fist because a lot of people take vitamins. I do. So as far as I'm concerned, even if they said, we're going to take those off the table. You can no longer buy a vitamin. That's fine. I'll get natural resources. I'll get it, off the land. You can look this stuff up. What can cure this and cure that and help your ailment. I don't need to do that. Got high blood pressure? Apple cider vinegar with mother in it. I mean, listen, there's so many ways you can bring down your own blood pressure. There's so many ways you can do different things. And, you don't need a vitamin. You can get it through your foods. But then they go, wait a minute, how about if they're poisoning your food? True. But the thing is, we're all at the mercy if you really think about it. But the truth is, you can get healthy right off the land. So if they chose to do that and go stupid, then there's always a way around them. Always a way. Yeah, that makes sense, idiot boy. You said, they want control of health, but then they decriminalize street drugs in Portland. Well, yeah, why not? They can make money off that. Like hemp. Now, listen, I mean, I don't give a crap. Everybody can, I don't care if they smoke weed, if there's whatever. I don't care. That's their business. But remember, it was illegal. Oh, if you got arrested with it, you got caught with it, depending on how big of a bag you had, quarter bag, whatever it might have been, dime bag, you got a slap on the wrist a lot of time, cops would take it. Or if you had enough of it, you got arrested and went to jail. But wait a minute. So many people are doing this. Why don't we do this? Why don't we legalize it? This way here, we can make money off of it. So now there's shops everywhere popped up. So there's all kinds of oils out there you can take. And now, don't get me wrong. They say it's good for pain and everything else. And I know there's a couple people I know that actually smoke medical marijuana. They claim it's actually better than the street garbage you get. And they said it really does work. And I don't have a problem with it because it is grown. It's natural on Earth. So it is there to help you. Now, of course, don't be smoking a big fatty while you're behind the wheel because that could be bad. But yeah, you guys get the idea. 786 Otto, thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you for your support as always, sir. He said, hello, everyone. Good to see you in there, Otto. Yeah, there you go, Cause. Or sneeze all over you, maybe. Well, yeah. I mean, you know. Yeah, that's the thing I think that's concerning everybody, right? Idiot boy, you said they want... I wish you would have kept your name what it was. And I'm trying to remember what it was now. Should have kept it the way it was. But anyway, they want us to take the vax, wear a mask, but then let millions of illegals, some having COVID, enter the U.S. unchecked and sent all over the USA. Yeah, they're literally taking these people into buses and driving them to destinations all over the United States. Why? Why are we doing this? What is wrong with this country? We've lost it. We've lost our minds. And I don't like the president we have in right now. I think he's a putz. And I think they should get him out of the presidency. They should just like impeach his ass, throw him out of there. It's the worst thing ever happened in this country, ever. Clearly he's not mentally fit. And I'm not making fun if he has an illness. If he truly does, then he should be looked after. And he should, they should take care of him. I don't have an issue with that. I'm not here to make fun of the guy. However, if you are not fit mentally to run a country, you should not be the president. Simple as that. Yeah, Pat. Why didn't you just leave it then? Oh. I preferred Pat Owen. It sounded better. There you go, Cors. Yes, I grow my own and only feed water. There you go. Yeah, well, that's what it is, Phil. You hit it right on the head. You said between 2 to 3 hours after downloading data from China and running it through a computer algorithm, they had a vax ready for production, yet they're still looking for a cure for cancer. Spot on. I think it's crap. You know as well as I do there's a cure for cancer. Come on now. Stop it. You know there is. You could take certain vitamins like turmeric that can stop certain cancers. Okay? Doesn't mean you cannot be cancer-free ever. It just means certain cancers, or it may just ward it off. Okay? Now, you know as well as I do they have a cure. But look at the money they make off of thousands of people all over the planet. How much money are they making? Going through these therapies, all kinds of stuff. How much do you think that costs to go through this? I'm sure some of you people had family members that went through all this. How many times? My uncle went through that. Went through the chemo and everything else. And it was funny because he was a good guy. If you haven't met him, you love him. He found out he had cancer. He had multiple myeloma. And he showed me one day. He goes, feel right here. I said, ooh, what the heck is that? It was a box they put under his skin. He goes, it's a chemo box. I said, really? He says, yeah, I get the chemo channel with it. I was like, oh my God, dude, that's too funny. I said, so what are they telling you? He said, well, they give me 2 years. 6 months, dead and gone. So how much money did they make off of him because of his illness? And that's just one person. Now thousands upon thousands of people all over the world every single year, they'd rather have the people die off than to have them live. Again, it may be something that's like a population control. If we stop cancer today, how many people would live? How many people between a heart attack and cancer do you know in your family, one of them's happened? Now, I want you to envision everybody you ever known suddenly can get rid of cancer. Nobody will ever have cancer. How many people would still be alive today? Think about it. Young people who've had it. Children who had it. They had cancer and died from it. They will never, again, generations upon generations are no longer here. They will not ever have their own families because they were stopped in their tracks at 8 years old, 12 years old. Come on. Come on. Man, it's almost time to close it out, guys. Idiot Boy said, Owen says, dry fasting helps to cure cancer. Well, there's many things you can do, right? You can bring up your pH level. If you're alkaline and not acidic, if you have an alkalinity of 7, you're less likely to have cancer or other bad colds and other stuff. That doesn't mean you can't get them. Last time I checked my alkalinity, it was 7. It was 7.0. It's the best you can get. But that doesn't mean you can't get sick, right? It just means there's a less chance of you getting cancers and stuff. That doesn't mean you can't, but less chance of it. So... let's see. Well, yeah, I gotta agree with you, Scourge. In 1971, by the way, good to see you in there. It said Biden wasn't elected to office; he was placed in office. Yeah, I think we all know who the real winner was, right? Although some people disagree, and that's fine. They're allowed to. Force Disclosure 818, thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate it. He said, hey, brother, from Southern California, drink a tall can on me. Will do, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, right? I think common sense just says eat most natural foods like fruits, potatoes, vegetables. Well, I mean, even if it's just like snacks, you have like throughout the day, like you have like a bowl of fruit, bowl of veggies and stuff like that, and have like a good meal at the end of the day. Something simple, you know. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Michael Starkey said, cancer, HIV, diabetes, majority of health problems were created by Big Pharma to farm the population and to sell petroleum-based nature-modern drugs to falsely solve the problem. It's a scam, folks. Well, do you remember that guy, what was his name? Trudeau was his last name. I'm not talking about from Canada. What was his name? He had the infomercial about, cures. It was like some kind of cures or whatever. Oh, what was his name? Anybody know? Remember back it was like the 90s, I think, 80s and 90s. I want to say Russell Trudeau. It wasn't Russell. Oh my God. Anyway, so he was on it. This is what he said, and it makes absolute sense. I've actually read up on this, and it has nothing to do with him. He said 99.9% of ailments are caused by a vitamin deficiency. Okay? This is the reason why you go to the doctors every year, and I tell my doctor, let me know if there's any deficiencies. So I think one of them was D3 and folate. So I said, okay. So I was already taking D3. I've been taking it for years. I just bumped it up. That's all. And started taking folate. That's all. So if your body is deprived of a certain thing, then you have an imbalance as far as your vitamins that your body, either you're not taking in through foods or your body's just not producing, because some of them your body actually produces some of them, right? So either way you look at it, you need to check. This is the reason why you go to the doctors every year. You said, Chris, did you listen to X22? Very informative. No. Is that like a channel on here, or is it? What is it? No, it wasn't Gary Trudeau. I forget who it was. Oh, my God. if the name hit me, I'd know exactly who it was. But he actually had this DVD that came out, and of course it was just a pitch he was selling you, but it's not false. As far as what he said, that statement, absolutely true. This is the reason why they want you to eat a balanced meal, so you get all of these vitamins and minerals that your body needs, especially as you get older, because a lot of these vitamins and minerals your body does not produce anymore. Therefore, you start aging faster. So this is the reason why they tell you to do this. So when I go to my doctors, I go, hey, listen, just let me know. Obviously, do the full lipid test, all this other crap, which they're going to do anyway. But just let me know if there's any vitamin deficiencies or something I'm low on. Okay. And, of course, you get a readout of everything that, everything from your alkalinity to any kind of things you may be low on, whether it be whatever vitamin or mineral, usually vitamin rather. So, and that's the whole idea of it, right? So you keep an eye on that, you'll be all right. James, you're right about that. Chris, 10 pints of Guinness will cure anything, my friend. You got that right. Oh, something sweet. Oh. Uh-oh. Running dry, folks. Running dry. Yes. Okay, had to go. It's like Snowpiercer. And when did that come out? That was like 80s and 90s, right? That was a pretty interesting movie. There you go, Neil. Yeah. That's good vitamins right there now. And that's one thing I'm trying to get away from is sweet tea. I love sweet tea there. I don't know about you guys, but I know there's a lot of sweet tea drinkers. But some of them are like real awful. Now, I know some of them are not just a sweet tea. They're regular tea, but they're sweetened. And so there's different ones as far as that goes. But, yeah, you got to have that. The only thing bad about this is sugar is it causes inflammatory problems. So, yeah, if you have inflammatory problems in your joints, which I do have from working all my life, then you'll get inflammatory. But this is the reason why I take turmeric as well. It's an anti-inflammatory. So you take that to try to offset it. But then once you get off the stuff, you're good. So I've been like weaning myself off it. So yeah, exactly. No high fructose corn syrup, and that's worse. That's even worse to have. James, you said great, Chris. Great hangout again tonight, and great comments from everyone. So take care and be safe. We'll talk soon, friends. CC, I'm going to do the same thing, guys. I'm going to jump off of this bad whamma jamma. So it was actually interesting. Man, I don't know why we just rambled so much on the virus, the vaccines, and all this other crap. This is not what the channel's for. However, it's good to get on a topic because people want to be more informed as well. I don't have all the answers. I'm not a guru on this. But I do know what I've been reading on the CDC. I do know what I've been seeing from different other people who like call in their bluff. I do know, and I'm not talking about people like me. I'm talking about people who are like these senators who, like I said, there was a guy who's a virologist, and he's calling his BS, Fauci's BS, calling him out and everything. So, again, just research. Do your own research, folks. Come up with your own conclusions. Don't go by what I say or what anybody else says. The whole point is take your time, research this. Don't just fall for the first thing you see. Oh, that sounds real, so therefore, no. You got to make sure it's consistent. And if it sounds the same, okay, you go, okay, well, I can consider that. And like I said, and I'm not against anybody, and I don't think anybody's an idiot for getting it. I'm just saying that I think they should be more truthful, and I don't think what they're doing to the people is right. I think they're just fear-mongering, and I think they're not doing the right thing. Nobody knows what the long-term effect is on this stuff. So all I'm saying is that, just look into it, research it yourself if you're on the fence about whether to get it, if you haven't gotten it or not. So that's the way I look at it. But a lot of times we just talk about space and everything else, but I'm glad John Ward was on here because it was awesome. It's good to have him in there, share some of his work. And like I said, if you guys are not familiar with him, John Ward is his channel. You can check him out. He's got good stuff there. So just awesome. But I want to thank everybody for being here. It's always a privilege to be here with you folks. Nothing but good conversation. Of course, we go on tangents on some stuff, but sometimes you can't help it. You just get passionate about it. And, you get tired of hearing the same old BS on TV. And I don't know about you folks, but I don't even want to watch TV anymore. In fact, I don't watch a whole lot of TV, to be truthful with you guys. So, yeah. So, So I try to stay away from that because, think about it, the negativity just breeds negativity, and there's no point in it. Then you're like, everybody's in a panic mode and everything else, and got their finger on the jerky button. No, I prefer not to do that. But anyway, like I was saying, it's good to be with you folks, and having a good Friday evening and just talking it up. And like I said, we had my good friend Jean Ward on there. Last week we couldn't do it. Something like he said his camera was upside down. He couldn't see what the heck is going on. And then when I got on today, for some reason I wasn't getting audio from him, but I could see him and he could hear me and see me. But so I ended up going, well, and I don't understand. If I call him, my default was set on like a different set of audio output. So I had to just click on the right speaker output and it seemed to work. I'm going, why does it matter? It should automatically. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. I just went, okay, simple fix. Click, have a good day. So it was good to have him on there. Good to have you folks in there as well. It's always a pleasure to be here with you folks. I appreciate all the support you guys give to the channel. And who knows, we might be doing this a lot more. This may be my only thing I'll be doing for work, by the way, because the company's been getting stupid on me. And, they don't want to, give you a raise in any way, shape, or form. But people who constantly make mistakes in a job are constantly, can I get a raise? Sure, why not? So, you're getting a little fed up with it. So we're going to see what happens with that. And probably need more of your support. But anyway, it's been great. Just verbal support is awesome. I like to hear all the good comments and stuff like that and how you guys feel. So it's just awesome and as far as that goes. So, but anyway, I'm going to let everybody go. Everybody have a great evening. Stay safe. Stay indoors. If you don't want this BS going around, just stay indoors. Just avoid it altogether. Stay healthy with your family. Stay home with your loved ones and just chill. That's the best way to do it. That's the way I look at it. But anyway, I'm going to let everybody go. What time is it? 8:10. I'll leave it on for another 5 minutes. You guys will just talk it up and then we'll just shut it down. Everybody have yourself a great weekend. Much love to you all. We'll see you soon.